angel from above. Oh, it went with a lifetime guarantee. Once you try it, oh, I'm sure that you'll see. Without love, there's no reason to live. Without you, oh, what would I do with the love I give? All the love that to you I'll be giving. And I promise this I'll do as long as I'm living. I'm thinking of you and the things you do to me that makes me love you. Now I'm living in ecstasy. Hey, it's you and the things you do to me that makes me love you. Now I'm living in ecstasy. All the time, it makes me glad that I'm alive. Together, we will survive. What do you think brought the sun out today? It's love, baby, love. Oh, help me say, without love, there's no reason to live. Without you, oh, what would I do with the love I give? All the love that to you I'll be giving. And I promise this I'll do as long as I'm living. I'm thinking of you and the things you do to me that makes me love you. Now I'm living in ecstasy. Hey, it's you and the things you do to me that makes me love you. Now I'm living in ecstasy.
So many
with one thing. Should I listen to my heart? Should I say yes? Should I say no? Wish I knew you better. Should I say yes? Should I say no? Should I say no? We may be different, but there's one thing that stays the same. I know I need you in a way that I can't explain. So many reasons why we should stay apart. My mind tells me one thing. Should I listen to my heart? Should I say yes? Should I say no? I don't know. I wish I knew you better. Should I say yes? Should I say no? You won't wait on me forever. Should I say yes? Should I say no? Wish we were together. Should I say yes? Should I say no? Should I
She was a Jezebel, this looks living alive like a backstreet dream. Telling my lies when the truth was clear. I think she knew what I wanted to hear. Spinning them around like a wheel on fire. Walking on tightrope and love's highway. Fatal attraction is where I'm at. There's no escaping me. I just wanna be close to you. Do all the things you want me to. I just wanna be close to you and show you the way I feel. I feel love when I'm lying in the midnight hour, holding you just like a dream. Love is never what it seems when we touch. And you're holding me the way you do. Girl, you make my dreams come true. You make my dreams come true. I just wanna be close to you and do all the things you want me to. I just wanna be close to you and show you the way I feel. She was a Gemini on the cusp of Mars. She holds me back, but she goes too far. Winding me up just to let me down. So emotional, gagging down. There's more to this than meets the eye. The devil woman locked inside. With the full moon rising, I was scared. I think I was possessed. I just wanna be close to you. Do all the things you want me to. I just wanna be close to you. Show you the way I feel. I
I love this song, baby.
I used to think that love was so silly then. All that kissing and stuff, that was just too much. And then you came along and gave my heart a brand new song. Yeah. true. Oh, that lovey feeling I get when I'm with you. That lovey feeling, the feeling that I get when I'm number one. Shutdown DJ. Bow wow.
They've been together for a very long time. When they felt the sense of change in the state of their mind, they had a true love, but they just didn't know how to talk to one another, so the feelings couldn't show to each other. They wouldn't leave. Had to ruin that rock, had to rock that boat. Oh, don't rock it, go, baby. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just relax and let it go. Don't rock it, go, baby. Don't fit, don't force it, just chill out and let it go.
You and I together, boy, we made a perfect pair. Here we got those silly feelings to play those games of good and bad. Well, I'm not one to regret, but I know I did you wrong. And it's so hard to forget how you loved me all night long.
I try to understand my feelings, why I ever play on you. In these days of danger, I feel it should be true. Ain't worth those silly chances to be a fool enough for our days. From right now to forever, let's remember the simple phrase. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. It ain't broke, don't fix it, just relax and let it go. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. Don't fit, don't force it, just chill out and let it flow. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. The girl wanna dance, it was gigantic, but love was twisted like Titanic. Not just easy, it was totally easy. When the fire girl had stopped to keep her man who was on no streets of horse. She said to us, what's wrong with that boy? To each other we should be, we love you. Stop fucking that boy. I'm on. Yes, I am. But I guess you never knew. As I said, a story through. Never know I got the flow. Cause I knew it from the start. Baby, when you broke my heart, that I had to go my game. I will show you that I'm winning. Your love mine. All those times I said that I love you. Your love mine. Yes, I try. Yes, I try. Your love mine. Even though you know I die for you. Your love mine. Yes, I cry. Yes, I cry. Come on. Oh my God. Here I am. Once again, top of the world, my phone. Here I go, so I'm back up in the days. Running thanks to take my smile, letting all the people know that I'm back to run the show. Cause what you did, you know was wrong, and all the nasty things you done. So baby, listen carefully while I sing my comeback song. Your love, she said she'd never turn on me. Your love, but you did. Your love, all this pain you said I'd never feel. Your love.
Number one club shutdown DJ. All right.
Great farmers, no farmer. Good morning, everybody. It's very nice to see you here. You are all welcome to the Big Dutchman seminar, of course, in conjunction with Choice Genetics France. We are going to be starting very, very soon with the seminars, but we would like firstly to apologize to our online presence that we are starting a bit late. We were just trying to wait for more people to come. But without wasting any much of our time, we are going to be starting the seminar now. And we will be starting, of course, with an opening prayer. And this is going to be taken by the MD of El Curious Farms, in person of Pastor Gabriel Anajeku. Please, a round of applause for him.
Good morning, everybody. Please, shall we rise to pray? In Jesus' name we pray. Eternal Rock of Ages, we want to thank you this morning. We want to thank you for the farmers that are here and those that are listening to us from various devices. We also want to thank you for Big Dutchman and their partners, Choice, that is here. Father, we pray that today we will not live here believing that we have wasted our time. And they are coming to Enugu will not be a waste of their own time also. The purpose of our gathering, let it be fulfilled in the name of Jesus. The way you brought them here safely, you will take them back. And as we do business with them, prosper the work of our hands. Increase every one of us. Enlarge our coast. Help us to do better than before. Give us greater understanding. Thank you, Father. For in Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, a round of applause for him. Yes. Please, I would like us to please move forward. Those of us that are at the back, please kindly move forward. The closer you are to the front, the better, the blessing will always start from the front. I'm not saying the people at the back will not get blessings, but let us start from the front so that the blessing, and even when they are serving the food, they might start from the front. So that before it gets to the back, they won't see the food has finished. So you understand? So please let us move forward so that we can quickly get our food, and the food will not finish. And just for our information, the restroom is also at the back. So in case you want to do the convenience. So once again we thank you for coming for the seminar. This is a seminar organized, like I said earlier, by Big Dutchman in conjunction with Choice Genetics. Big Dutchman is a German company, a pig and poultry equipment manufacturing company. And I know that as we have come here, we are not here to waste our times. We are here to share knowledge with us, because, we cannot do anything if we don't have adequate information about it. If we just decided to do anything without the adequate information, I tell you, either you mess up the whole thing, or something will just go wrong along the line. So this seminar is we are not a monopoly of knowledge. Of course, you are farmers, we have farmers here, and we are not here to tell you that what you are doing is wrong. No, that is not our intention. What we are just here for is just to inform you how to do what you do and to do it better. Just to improve on your practices. And of course, if you improve on the practices, definitely you are going to be getting more profit, because every one of us know that the purpose of going to business is to make profit. So we are all welcome once again. We will be going straight now to the welcome address from my colleague, the National Sales Manager for Business Unit Poultry Growing. He is going to be the one to be giving us a welcome address. Our MD is unavoidably absent. So in his absence, he is going to be giving us a welcome address. His name is Chief Adebolu Fatumishe. Is the Chief of the Poultry Growing Business Unit. A round of applause for him, please. Please, a round of applause for him again, so that we can get food. If you don't clap for him, maybe you will not get food, though.
Chief, indeed. A very good morning to every one of us. It's really nice to have us here. Great farmers. Great farmers. Great nation. Okay. To me, that really sounds so dull, but I believe before the end of this seminar, we'll have something to definitely motivate us, because we, Big Dutchman team, are kind of loaded with information that we are ready to dish out on a beautiful day like this. I really like to say a very big thank you to those of us here at this arena, and also to those watching us from different and various platforms all around the world. We really appreciate you all. Of course, this is Big Dutchman. So many of us, you've heard about us. You've seen our equipment. You've experienced our technical know-how. You know how far we can go in Big Dutchman. But of course, one of the beautiful things Big Dutchman is known for is organizing a program like this. It is free, but we have scanty farmers or scanty auditorium. But when it is tagged some amount of money with probably great motivational speakers in this country, it is most likely that we try to have what is called crowd control by the gate. We are farmers, and we should be identified as one. Great farmers. Big Dutchman has been in existence since 1938. And as of today, we are 84 years old. No doubt about it that we have the technical know-how. We understand the poultry business. If you are running with 10 birds, 5 birds, 100 birds, 1 million birds, whatever kind of capacity, 100 sows, name what kind of capacity you have both in poultry and piggery. Of course, we have the technical know-how. We have our reference farms all around the nation, Nigeria, across the West African coast. We have our reference farms, and we also have our colleagues currently working in many of these countries. It is a beautiful opportunity for Nigerians, which I'm part of us, because Big Dutchman is from Germany, but we are Nigerian. Myself and my colleagues, and even some of our facilitators, we are all Nigerians. So this is a great one. We should dish out this beautiful opportunity to many of us here before we even take it out. It is a different ball game how it is being done to many farmers in Africa, Nigeria, so to say, because we have our ways of doing things. When one of our facilitators comes on board, you are really going to understand what I'm talking about, because you are going to see a video, and that video till today, as a broiler manager, I'm really so surprised to see such processing plant. It's amazing to me. Okay, but when one of our facilitators, Dr. Dotun, comes here, you are going to see live on the screen. It is a moment of extreme pleasure to welcome you all. Those of you attending this seminar, it is no doubt that modern livestock farming is the solution in every challenging period. So, on behalf of myself, the Managing Director of Big Dutchman Nigeria, Enugu Pan Executive Board, I offer our regards to all poultry farmers, financiers, stakeholders, and to everyone joining us right here and through the live streaming platform. But please take note before you leave here today that for us in Big Dutchman, we are known for 3 main things, which are what we do, why we do what we do, and how we do what we do. I'm sure as poultry farmers and piggery farmers, you have your reasons for doing what you are currently doing. And many of these reasons will be further explained to us from our facilitators, what they will be discussing with us. I would implore us that we should try as much as possible to make this seminar interactive. I'm sure we've all been given jotters. If you don't want to stop the facilitator, please write your questions down. Feel free. Kindly forget the way we are dressed. We are also farmers. And I'm sure when you see me in the farm or any of my colleagues, it's possible you're unable to identify, was this the guy that gave us the opening speech? Because we are also running after the birds. We are taking care of the pigs. This is what we do. And why we are here to tell you, to give out this information, was because we understand the practicality of the industry. We are not giving you information from the books, from the textbooks. We are not reading some information from Google to come and tell you here. No. We have been to the farm. We have seen how it works. And that's why we are here to give it out for free. So what we do, Big Dutchman has planned and realized livestock feeding system and now equipment for modern poultry since 1938 and is a recognized world market leader for technical livestock equipment. My brother here, Raphael, already showed some video of what we do, how Big Dutchman started since 1938, and what we plan to achieve, where we plan to be as of today. Someone didn't get to see this maybe a few years back. No, but it was discovered since 1938 that this is how we should take care of our poultry birds. And it has been like that. This was the video that you earlier saw on the screen. Again, why we do what we do. Big Dutchman commitment stands undisputed to support, develop, and lift Nigerian poultry production to greater heights under securing production of high-quality poultry meat and egg, with the ultimate goal to create employment and agricultural infrastructure nationwide in Nigeria and beyond. Like I said, we are working even above Nigeria. Our teams currently we have our teams, I think 10 countries in Africa right now, as we speak with you right now. Okay, so our headquarters being in Lagos, Nigeria, doesn't really mean anything to us. We can easily get to you. In Tanzania, in Gabon, in Democratic Republic of Congo, in many of these countries as we speak right now, Gambia, Liberia, Sierra Leone, we have our technical team. From Nigeria, they are not expatriates. Trained. They're currently working in many of these countries today. And that's why we deem it fit to also come out here. As a farmer, yes, you've been doing this for quite a while, but it's possible that there are one or two things you're not actually getting right. And we have decided to come all out to make this work, to make this easy, give you some other further information to get it right. So how we do what we do. If you are to work economically, automation and cost-conscious management are essential prerequisites. It might be at this point kind of difficult for you to have a automated farm. I understand that quite well, but I'm sure you can plan to start small and finish big. When you start with a small system, a kind of system that doesn't waste your feed, a kind of system that gives your bird or your piggery or your pigs the right kind of water to drink, because many of the times we tend to forget that as we are human, many of these livestock, many of these animals also need to get fresh water like we are getting fresh water. I'm sure many of us cannot take water from the gutter. But we forget the fact that we also need to take care of these guys. So, we also need to supply them fresh water and also fresh feed. I don't want to discuss what is currently going on in Nigeria, in West Africa, in Africa, and let me allow this to remain in West Africa. What we refer to as feed, as we speak right now. A lot of us are currently complaining about feed. So the kind of equipment we use today determines how much we are going to grow. One very vital information before I will leave here is that, like I said earlier on, we are Big Dutchman. And no doubt about it, we are the market leader. Please note, Big Dutchman as a company, we are not competing with a China product. Note, please, just note it. So if I'm to sell something to you at 10 naira and a China product is 2 naira, so be it, because I'm not competing with a China product. I like to give you a quick instance. We are at a very beautiful hotel. A very beautiful hotel. But this hotel, as beautiful as it is, has a China lift system. Are you with me? Okay, so on that system, it was written 630 kg at a go. 8 persons, 630 kg at a go. But just 2 of us at 120 kg was able to go in between this lift. Why? It was all tagged China language. So I know this is from China. It was written 630, but can only convey, on the real sense of it, 120 kg. That doesn't make sense. So we need to be thoughtful of starting small and ending big. I mean, these are just an introductory message before our facilitators will come up to give you the main information that you actually needed. The local data, not what is happening on the field. So Big Dutchman has the sales team and also our after-sales service team that can always fly to anywhere you are in the country. Lagos to Enugu flight is 45-50 minutes. And China to Nigeria, even at this time of war in Ukraine and Russia, could take another almost 48 hours. And this guy, you have to pay for the flight, pay for everything. So we need to consider all of this in setting up and starting up whatever we are doing. Even if it is a 10 naira product, you need an after-sales team to monitor that product. And we also need to understand what we are doing. So I'd like to end here. Feel free and enjoy all wonderful topics that will be discussed within these few hours that will be together. But lastly, before I leave here, Mr. Please remind me, there's somebody that was here as early as 8 a.m. Mr. Gideon. Big Dutchman will always like to work with time. It's a German company and we don't joke with timing. We delayed this program because we don't want to talk to 2 to 3 participants. We like to at least achieve a certain percentage of the participants before we start the event. But Mr. Gideon, could you please be on your feet? Kindly put your hands together for Mr. Gideon, everybody. Please put your hands together for Mr. Gideon, everybody. Mr. Gideon, because of this program, came from Makurdi and was here since around 8 a.m. for this event. For this wonderful determination, it shows that you actually plan to get somewhere with your product. I'm giving you the chicken feed pan free of charge. I'm giving you this free of charge. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate you. And I like to advise you that please, what you have done today, let it reflect in your area of business. Please let it reflect, because this will actually make you outstanding before your colleagues. Definitely. Thank you very much. We really appreciate to have you. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for Chief Bolu once again. So, this is a lesson for us all to be coming early for events. You never know. Maybe next time when they call you for an event, they will give you a gift of a car. You never can tell. You're welcome. So, we will be going straight to the seminars. But before we do that, I want to quickly introduce ourselves. Yes, my colleague Bolu has introduced the company, and I would like to introduce my colleagues shortly. Chief Bolu, like I usually call him, Chief Bolu Adebolu Fatumishi, is the National Sales Manager for our business unit, Poultry Growing. You have seen him. A round of applause for him once again, please. We also have our National Sales Manager for the business unit, Egg, as the layers and all that, in person of Mr. Temitope Oyadeyi. Is right there organizing things. We also have Dr. Dolapo Babajide, is our regional sales manager for the business unit Poultry Growing also. You're welcome. We have Mr. Awoshola Olushola also. He's our regional sales manager for the business unit Egg. He's right there also running things. We have our social media manager. We call him Yahoo Boy because he's always with his laptop. He's not a Yahoo Boy literally. So we just call him Yahoo Boy because he has plenty of laptops in front of him now. In person of Mr. Raphael Joshua Bib, you're also welcome. And we have sitting beside him also, who is one of the facilitators, is our assistant project manager, and he also doubles as our solar system manager in person of Mr. Adeoye Adenigba. So we are okay. My name is Moses Makonjum. I'm the national sales manager for our business unit Pig. A round of applause for me too. Before I send everybody away, because I have the power to send everybody away now. Please, a round of applause for me before I get angry. Thank you very much. So, for this seminar, it is actually a pig and a poultry seminar. I'm very sure we have some pig farmers here. I know we have a larger percentage of the poultry farmers. So, whatever we're going to be discussing today is actually going to benefit both the poultry farmers and also the pig farmers. And even if you're only a poultry farmer, from the information you get, you can have, peradventure, you have people that are pig farmers that are even not here. You can still disseminate the information to them when you get home, and you can always refer them to us. Likewise, if you are a pig farmer, the information you get from the poultry department, you can also transfer the information to your cycle of influence when you live here. We have 4 sections, 4 seminars, 4 topics, 4 people that are going to be giving us the topics, and we won't want to bore you. We won't want to waste our time. All these seminars, all the facilitators are going to be giving time, and we will try as much as possible for them to work with the time given to them. We have 4 seminars, 4 topics. The first topic is the alternative power. The second topic is going to be from choice genetics, understanding pig genetics. The third topic is improving profitability in livestock farming, while the fourth one is going to be biosecurity and flock health. So I would like to welcome the facilitator for the first topic, which is alternative power solution. I believe we all know what is happening in the country. We know that petrol now is 14 naira per liter. Diesel now is even 20 naira per liter. So we are really enjoying power from the national grid. Am I correct? We are enjoying power from the national grid. Okay, so Adeoye Adenigba is going to be the one to be giving us a talk briefly on alternative power solutions. Please, a round of applause for him. And to not to waste our time, all the questions are going to be taken together, like my colleague Bolu said. So if you just listen to the seminars, listen to the topics, and jot your questions down. As I will be moving around, I will be collecting your pieces of papers that you've written. And if you want to also ask a question, you can ask it verbally also. But we don't want to be, we want it to be that after each topic, you'll be asking questions. You want to take all the questions at the same time. So thank you very much. Sit down and relax and listen to the solar expert. A round of applause for him once again, please.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Adeoye Adenigba, and I'll be running through one of the new inventions of Big Dutchman. So, for a while now, we've been trying to work on the Power Box Mini, which is targeted at small-scale farmers to solve their energy problems. For most small and medium-scale farmers, stable power supply is a major bottleneck to automation of feeding operation and provision of adequate lighting beyond natural daylight. With the PD Power Box Mini, you can effectively automate your feeding, improve lighting. Sorry, please. Improve lighting, raise the efficiency of your operation, and optimize your profit. Powerbox Mini is a plug and play system that can be fully operational in less than 2 hours from its unboxing. So the system is designed in such a way that once you purchase it, you can set up at any point, anywhere you are. Just unbox, follow the manual, piece it together, and it's a plug and play system for you, which helps you automate and run your farm from basic lighting to pumping of water, which you can also use for your residential load also. So, for example, this is an open poultry house, either for meat or egg production. The one on the extreme right is the broiler house, and the one on the left, it's a layer pen. House capacity is about 15 to 20 meters times 10 meters max, 10,000 capacity. This is the picture of the power box in the warehouse before it was deployed to site, which can guarantee a permanent reduction in your energy cost by about 20%. Amortization period. This is the period in which you make your money back after purchase, at least 3 years. So the Power Box Mini can also power your Orgamatic lines, your feeding upper drinker line, your manure scraper, which is the picture below. 5 row per 10 piece. That's lighting, also lighting on the pen. 24 watts per lighting system. Your feeding line, the standard feeding line of Big Dutchman is 550 watt each motors. Water pumping machine, manure removal, your water pump about 735 watts. 2 Orgamatic lines. So these are some of other equipment on your farm that can be powered by the Power Box Mini. All these are Big Dutchman equipment. The rollover is a manure scraper. And this is what when it was deployed on a farm. This is Deboale Farms in Ogun State. And we did a test run on the farm and it ran perfectly. So on the farm in Ogun State, we did feeding 5 times a day, 4 minutes each. The lighting period, morning for 3 hours, evening 3 hours, about 110 watts. And you can see this chart. This is just a detailed chart of how the power was distributed during the day. That in red is the sun's production. The blue is the energy demand. So the solar captures all energy production on site, and there's a battery backup in the system which stores the energy for nighttime use. So in the pilot system, we had less than 10 minutes downtime during the day due to cloud covers, rain, cloudy morning. And batteries can be charged by alternative power source during cloudy and rainy days. Minimum battery level alarm. So this is a brief comparison between the power box, your grid, and your fuel generator. The availability of the power box is high, environmental impact is none, energy cost is low, maintenance is none. Compared to the grid where availability is low, which we all know, environmental impact is negative, energy cost is average, maintenance is also low. Then down to generators, which availability is high, although, but environmental impact is negative due to greenhouse effect, carbon emission. Energy cost is high. As we all know, diesel cost is rising on the daily these days, and it's crazy. And maintenance cost is also high. This is the power box meaning. That's the inverter inside and the breakers to the left, and to power in the pen. That's a 10,000 pen capacity pen house at the Boale farm. So just brief introduction to some components. Your solar panels, inverters, depends on the capacity you want, which can be tailored to your need. That's a 5 kVA solar inverter, 2.5 kVA inverter. These are MPPT. These are batteries. These are breakers, surgical cables, and other ancillaries. This is the stand. That's the enclosure box to keep all of that equipment you want to keep. And this is a cost breakdown, an amortization chart. So for the 2.5 kVA power box mini, Big Dutchman is selling for 4,000 euros. So at conversion rate of 484, that's 1.94 million. And for the bigger one, the 5 kVA, at 8,518 euros, that's 4.1 million. Thank you.
Thank you, Adi. A round of applause for him once again, please. I believe you have questions for him, so we can just jot it down, and we will attend to it after after all the presentations. So we are going to the second topic now, and this topic is a very, very interesting one, because yes, that is my constituency. We are going to be talking about pig genetics, and the person that is going to be taking us in this topic is in person of Mr. Tomi Olatunde from Choice Genetics. A round of applause for him, please. He has an experience of 18 years. He's been in the swine business for more than 18 years. He is responsible for the countries in West Africa and some of the Middle and Eastern countries in Europe. He's a genetics advisor, and he's going to be giving us tips on how to do well with our pigs in terms of the genetics. A round of applause for him once again, please.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming over. My name is Tomi Olatunde, as Moses has rightly said. I collaborate, I work with Choice Genetics France. I work in Europe, basically. And of late, I extended to the African continent, basically in the west of Africa as a region. I would like to go through the topic, this very important topic called genetics with us. Because for the past year, I've been monitoring Nigerian pig industry, how things are being done. I've been on Facebook a lot, and I've been opportune to see to have an idea of what is going on. So it's a big opportunity for me to be here today in front of you guys, and we trying to learn together how to benefit from the advantages genetics practically awards us as a business. Choice genetics. Yeah, as we said, the topic of today is going to be how we're improving genetics can make our business more profitable, which is our aim, because all businesses are done for economic results. Firstly, I will introduce Choice Genetics, which belongs to a bigger group called Grimaud. Grimaud in France has three basic departments. Department of biopharmacy, which basically is represented by the Valneva. Valneva is a biopharmacy company that produces vaccine. We recently have our COVID vaccine approved somewhere some months earlier. We also have the animal genetic selection companies, where we exist along with our other colleagues in that deal with waterfowls, with layers, with rabbits, with shrimps, and of late, blue soldier flies. So we are a multi-species company, and as far as Choice is concerned, where I come from, I would like to tell you that we are present worldwide with our headquarters in France, and we also have a subsidiary company in the United States, in China. We are represented in Brazil and most of Latin America. In Europe, of course, we are very, very strong in Poland and most of the European countries. Of course, in Asia, as I said earlier, in China, Malaysia, and most of all these pig producing companies, we exist. However, in Africa, we're a little bit lagging behind, and that's why I'm here. So I believe that the next time I'll be showing you this slide, there will be a point there, showing Nigeria and Ghana. All right, we've already started some good work in the east of Africa, namely Uganda. So yeah, we proceed. Improving genetics. Why do we need to improve genetics? Because Choice approaches the subject of production by the fact that we believe that the piglet must be weaned by the biological mother. It's basic. When the piglet is weaned by the biological mother, it means that it had the opportunity to have access to colostrum, which was produced by the biological mother, which gives a shield a kind of immunity shield to the piglet from the first 72 hours. At Choice, we believe that for the sow to be able to win her own piglet, she must have what it takes, which means we produce sows with at least 16 functional teeth. 16 functional teeth, so that all the piglets born will have access to colostrum. They will all have access to colostrum, which is basic, because the survivability of the piglets is vital for their life, and of course for the farmers. Milk production, apart from the colostrum availability, the sow must have enough milk to sustain, feed piglets. So at the end of all this, we have uniformity in our litter. We have an average litter weight, and we have a considerable number of piglets born alive. All these together is what we say, this is how we approach piglet production and obviously pig production. So in continuation of what I said earlier, we invest much in the number of teats available, because it doesn't make any sense to have 18 piglets when you have only 14 teats. So we made it possible, and this is one of our basic selection criteria, that we select for 16 minimum functional teats per guild that we provide for farmers. So part of the reproduction criteria is that the piglets born alive increase. As I said earlier, we look at it that, okay, for you to have a profitable business, you must have as much piglets born alive as possible. So our guilds must be hyper prolific. Today, I can say that our average born alive piglet number is between 15.5 piglets born alive. Now, the sow needs to be able to win lots of piglets. So that is why we said we select for 16 functional teats. Most of our sows you find 18, but for sure 16 are functional. So at the end of the day, the piglets are weaned heavy. So when the piglets are weaned heavy and you are having a piglet of 28 days, 25 days, 4 weeks, I will say, and they are having a minimum of 7.5, 8 kilos live weight, then those piglets, if they don't have any health issue, will continue further down. And of course, our guilds come into heat very, very fast and strong, because we have some production guidelines that we offer our clients, our co-farmers. Okay, so that if they follow these guidelines, coming into heat and maintenance of our sows is realized. So at the end of the day, we believe in a full value pig. A full value pig for us means that the feed conversion ratio it's respected, growth, robustness and resilience, meat quality, back fat, and muscle depth. All these criteria makes are parameters that are supposed to be present in the pig that you commercialize. The feed conversion rate is very, very important and vital. Why? Because we all know that, and it's evident that 70% of your cost is nutrition. Minimum of 70% is nutrition. So your feed must be quality, and you must be feeding. And what we bring to the table is the possibility, the genetic potential to convert as little feed as much as possible to much more meat. All right? This is what we offer farmers. So at the end of the day, we are talking about 120 kilos. Let's see recent figures, in as early as, depending on the breed, as early as 150 days, 155 days from birth. Products. How do we get all these things? Of course, all these criteria, all these characteristics, we brought them and we embedded them in different products that we offer farmers. Basically, we use the Landras M6 line, which is a pure line, combined with the N3 large white line. Now, I would like to underline something here, because I usually hear pure line this, pure line that, pure line this, pure line that. If you are a breeder, a certified breeder, okay, underline that as well. You should be having Landras and large white, okay? And basically, I prefer the large white as a sow. Then you cross with a Landras boar. When you cross, then you have a product called F1. Okay? So as we see here, of course we'll talk about this later on. You will see here that the M3 large white has some characteristics that is evidently unique to them. The M3 is a docile animal. The M3 is easy to manage. The M3 is a maternal line. She has this characteristic. All right? On the other hand, we have the M6 Landras, okay, which is very well known for its prolificacy. She is very prolific. She has a XXL in milk production. She really has the possibility to give milk. All right? And then she brings stability to the table. So the product of both of these we'll see later on, but I would like to go, into discussing each one separately, because it is very, very important, and it will be vital that we all understand what we're talking here. Now, the large white, I said, is docile. She has the maternal qualities, and she's very, very easy to manage. The large white will eat, even if it's 35 degrees centigrade. She will always eat, which is good. These are pictures of large white M3 gills. The Landras, as I said earlier, with all the characteristics. These are Landras M6 gills. You see the ears of the Landras characteristics. Now, the combination of these two lines gives us the F1 I was talking about earlier, which is the CG36. The CG36, being a product of both gives us the progeny. She comes with the maternal instinct, all right? And she gives, statistically, she gives you 80 weaned piglets in a lifetime on an average. 80 weaned piglets on the average in a lifetime. Because she came from parents of both 16 and more teats, she also has 16 teats on the average, guaranteed. All right? Because she has in the lineage the hem tree, sow mortality is very low. Because she eats, she consumes. So when we give her the good food, the balanced diet, we don't have issues. Okay? Now, I will take us back to what I underlined earlier. Because I usually hear pure breed this, pure breed that. Okay? When you buy a pure breed, I will not even go into identifying if it's pure breed or not. Okay? You are buying this. Yeah, this one. So when you're buying a pure breed large white, you're buying that. When you're buying a pure breed landrace, you're buying that. Okay? So if you cross this with a terminal boar, a Duroc, or whatever, she will perform her duties. She will be docile. She will give the ease of management. She will give the maternal quality, but then she can never be an XXL. Am I making sense here? She can never be an XXL milk producer, nor can she give you the hyperprolificity that that lady there will give you, nor the stability. Am I being understood? Am I making sense? So that is why it is good to buy certified gilts. All right? Usually, when we give out the gilts, we give you a pedigree. A pedigree certifying the quality of the gilts you have bought. All right? It shows everything, the life statistics of the mother, the father, and what to expect. And you know what to expect from her. So, coming back to the CG36, which is the main product here. The CG36 is the main product because it's what we use to cross when we want to produce fattening piglets. We cross the CG36 with all these characteristics with either a P26 boar. A P26 boar is a Duroc type boar. They produce vigorous piglets because of the masculine trait, the hereditary. Fast growth, the Duroc can really grow. Very good feature efficiency and superior meat quality. Superior meat quality that the Duroc gives you is the ability to have the intramuscular fat, which is very, very tasty when you do barbecues. All right? Next on the list is the P81. I like this boar. The P81 is a Pietren-like boar. Yeah, of course, it has an exceptional average daily gain, not like the Duroc, It has very, very good, better feed efficiency than the Duroc. Vigorous piglets also. Extremely calm offspring. Okay, and very fit because they are very calm. They can fit into dense environment because they are very calm. The difference between both the P81 and the P26 is that the P81 will give you carcass. You will be getting a minimum of 62% of meat. So if you have a butchery, you should go for this guy because you will be getting your value for money. All right, but if you are selling live piglets, you will do the job. They go fast. All right. So we have also the P90, which is something in between both breeds. It's an hybrid boar that comes with exceptional efficiency. Vigorous piglets also. Good enough carcass quality. It will give you a 60%. All right? Clean meat. Yes. To buttress what I said earlier, because I've seen lots of images, lots of videos online, you know, I think we all see it. This is how the pyramid works. It can only come down. You see the slaughter pigs. A slaughter pig cannot be crossed with a P90. For example, when it comes here, it's gone. It goes to the abattoir. So this is for people who are buying winners. Who are buying winners and crossing with something to get I don't know what. That is why you feed animals for 360 days and you can't boast of 70 kilos. If I'm wrong, please someone should tell me. All right. So that's why when we are at the slaughter, there are slaughter pigs, you cannot cross with a parent a P90 because when you cross with a P90, 81 or a P26, it's something else entirely that you get because she is not a parent herd. She is for the abattoir. He is for the abattoir. Whatever you get in this red zone, they are slaughter pigs, and that's the only thing they can ever be. Now, the parent herd can never go back to be a nucleus herd. Never. So if you take a parent herd and cross with M3, you are doing genetic vandalism because you are getting something entirely different. Because you already lose the progeny that you had when the normal breeder will breed the M3 and the M6 together. Am I making sense, please? Because it doesn't make sense if I am not making. All right? So, this is the only way that it can work. We cross the M3 with the M6, whichever way around, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we have the progeny from both breeds in the parent herd. Then on the parent herd, we can now choose, depending on our market. We might have a butchery, we might not have a butchery. It doesn't really matter. Okay? We now choose from any of these boars there to combine and cross with the parent herd to fix a slaughter pig that is convenient for our market, that we can easily sell, and money back guarantee, a return in investment. How does choice add value to your production? We see here examples in Paraguay. I deliberately bought this because people ask me, but yeah, there in Europe, it's this, it's that, it's that, it's that. No, our piglets adapt. Paraguay, it has the same temperature values like Nigeria and also humidity. Okay? Mind you, I also work in Greece. Greece in the summer can have temperatures as much as 45 degrees Celsius. And you have farmers there and they're doing very well. The way the animals are kept, although is different. Like, for example, we feed in the night when it's hot. We feed in the night. You said the other day, yeah, we feed in the night. Anything after 6, they eat. During the day, nobody eats. Even you, a human, you will not eat. All right? And we still have these numbers. All right? So automatically in Latam, in Latin America, the number one farm is a choice farm. And this guy is winning 34.7 piglets per sow per year. Do we understand what I said? He's winning 34.73 piglets per each sow he has on the farm per year. And he's keeping 3,000 sows. Yeah. And he's keeping 3,000 sows. So you can understand that, and the essence is to show us that it's possible. Only that we need to have the correct equipment, all right, to do this job. I have to go faster. These are his figures as for 2019. The same farm. He's winning on the average 13.4, 13.6, 13.65 per sow on the average on his farm. From live born of 14. Okay, it's possible. We could get those details from that man because he's keeping records. How many of us keep records? How many of us keep records? At least an exercise book. Good. So at a point in time, we should be able to accumulate all this data to see whether, to check whether and how well we are doing. All right? Records can be kept using a common exercise book. Some people use Excel files. All right? And there are specialized softwares also. Okay? Expensive, cheap. There are possibilities in the market. This is an example of a software. All right? It gives you a whole breakdown of what you are doing. When a consultant like myself will see something like this, I already have a picture of what is happening in the farm. I know where to go. Direct. Am I making sense? Now, I did a small, I tried to do something, so that we understand the real value behind genetics. I think it is well established that a sow will eat a ton 200 kilos per year. Okay, we all agree, right? One sow will eat 1.2 ton in a year. If it's 1.150, if it's 1.210, it doesn't make sense. Let's just take it for 1.2. All right? Then I multiplied and gave a value for the feed. I gave a value for the medication on both the artificial insemination in case you are buying semen. So at the end of the day, you have a total input of 336,000 naira. Okay? But on the other hand, you are producing 27. I didn't use 34, like the Paraguayan guy. Okay? I used 27. 27 piglets that are weaned by the sow, right? And each one is sold at 30,000 naira. All right? That is how much you are making. And that is the percentual relative gain. Any objection here? Now, this is when you do use bad genetics. Unfortunately, the cost remains same. But then you are winning 18 piglets. How many people are winning more or less than 18 here? Please. Per sow per year. You are winning 18 piglets per sow per year. How many? More than that? Less than that? I would like someone to answer me. How many are we winning on the average? Hello? You said? In a year per sow, each sow on the average, you are winning less than 30. Huh? Less than 18? I cannot make.
Someone wants to talk.
No, I was saying, I don't know whether it's because of the, what is that, the swine flu or what. I'm still going to have the experience this
year. Okay, but you are winning more than 18 or less, right?
Less.
Less than 18?
Yes.
Okay. This is your picture. Whatever may be the problem, okay? This is an image. That's the essence. We can discuss the other issues later. Okay? I just want a picture. So I want to show that this is as real as possible. All right? So if you are winning 18 piglets per sow per year, this is what you are making. If you are selling it with 15,000 naira, all right? And for sure you are losing. It's a loss. That's the reproduction part of it. Now, this is the fattening part of it. 5 minutes, I'm gone. This is the fattening part of it. So, that man that had good genetics was selling good genetics to a farm, and he was selling it at 36,000 naira per piglet. All right? This is a fattening model. He got it that he was able to trick somebody. He was able to get somebody that is buying it at 6,000. So that person bought it at 6,000 naira and is feeding the piglets from 16 kilos to 30 kilos at a cost per kilo of 200 naira. Between 30 and 60. 160 naira. At a range of 60 to 100 kilos. Yes, 100 kilos. Because those piglets will give you 100 kilos. 120 naira. So at the end of the day, it has a total combined feed cost of 35,600 naira. Am I being understood? So it comes to an average of 142 naira per kilogram. Right? Remember this. let's go to the next slide. Now, this man is, of course, is slaughtering at 120 kilo because the piglets have the genetic potential. All right? The piglets have genetic potential, and by the time he will buy those piglets at 20, 25 kilos, he will fatten them. The total fattening period of each of these pigs is 90 days to get to an average of 110 kilos live weight. Okay? Which means, like in the poultry, our poultry friends, they know this very well. You can do 3 sets in a year. Am I wrong? This is how we do in broilers. We count in days. So it's the same thing here. So we can fatten good genetics in 90 days. Then you can go 3 rounds in a year. And that's what you're making. 14 million. If you are fattening 100 piglets. Buying 100 piglets and fattening them at this rate, you are making that in a year. Am I clear? On the other hand, however, yeah, this farm A is with better genetics, F2 piglets, which is a product of F1 and terminal ball, as we said earlier. More expensive cost for piglets, of course, because the piglets have value. More expensive feed and quality premix fed at libitum. More batches produced per year. Better farming environment, investment, and selling at 120 kilos. Let's come to the reality. Unfortunately, reality in West Africa. I see we people buy piglets on Facebook with 15 naira, 15,000 naira. Am I wrong? 10,000 naira. We bargain it, right? We bring it to our farm. All right? We try and we buy blood meal, we buy shaft, we buy a PKC, we mix it together. We are able to get a feed at 120 naira for the first stage. 126, sorry. But the second stage, even cheaper than the previous one. 116. Then at the end of the finisher feed, we were able to go 112. It can be cheaper than that. But of course, you are feeding more, 40 kilos. So at the end of the day, these piglets, because they are bad genetics, they are not, I won't even say bad genetics, they are products of inbreeding. Yes, and that's how it's called. They are products of inbreeding. They will be eating like a whole year. Am I wrong? 10 months, 11 months. And these pigs, they will be consuming like 380 kilos. Even though it's cheaper compared to the previous one. Per kilo, it's costing you 115 naira per kilo. It's cheaper. But the fact that you don't have the animals don't have the potential to grow. We go here. Here I made magomago. I will confess to you. Because I said we slaughter at 70 kilos. From what I know, the average slaughtering price weight is 65. Am I wrong? So, because when I in this file, when I used 65, it was minus. So, just to keep the plus, I used 70. All right? Compared to the previous file, you see you're making, if you bring in 100 piglets like this, you are making 295 naira, 1,000 naira in a whole year compared to 40 million. Okay? So, it all comes to money. Parameters of this farm: locally derived animals, unknown inbred pigs, cheaper feed, even if you give them a libitum, cheap feed cost, selling at a maximum of 70 kilos, maximum weight, gainable. They can't do more than that. They can't do more than 65 kilos. All right? One batch only. You can only keep one batch of pigs. You cannot do, as we said earlier, like a poultry farm, to have 3 batches in a year. You can only do one because you have only 5, 10, 6 pen, right? So you will keep this one animal for one set of animal for a whole year, even under normal farming conditions. Now, I will only go fast through this. These are figures from the 90s. I see people still using them on Facebook and things like that. I just want to make sure to point out that today, with the P90, you get as much as 115 kilos in 150 days. So that is what I want to bring out here is that there is genetic improvement. What was in the 90s is not anymore because we are improving. So if you want to assess the improvement, you have to collaborate with the genetic company proper, not Facebook. Yeah, this is what I see around. These are farms that I see, piglets I see around, long nose, and yeah, they consume. Yeah, I saw this farm, and the owner told me that they are 6 months old. Yes, he is feeding these animals. They are 6 months old. I think the biggest one was around 30, and the smaller ones was around 15 kilos. Yes, and he's spending money here. These pigs are 120 days old. The picture was taken in England. Okay? Genetics. Next time I come with pictures from Uganda. I hope before then I will have pictures from Nigeria market. Now, as a genetic company, COVID taught us some lessons during 2020 and 2021. Because we travel around the world, we try to reach our clients, to reach our collaborators, and to help them. But because of COVID restrictions, we couldn't travel anymore. So we invented a campaign called With You, which will remain. With You comes from the word with you. We have a platform on our website. You can take pictures of this, and you can log on. You will find on our website lots of tutorials, lots of write-ups that are related with farm practices, and on the same platform, in case you have any problems, you will be connected with a specialist, vets, genetic advisors, or nutritionists, whatever you want. Okay? Please log on. Feel free to log on, and yeah, make use of what we have made available there. Thank you very much for having me, and yeah, I'll be ready to take your questions later on. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Before we go, before you go, sir, we want to do it this way. We've had 2 topics now. So I believe that we have questions for the 2 presenters. So I want us to take the questions now. The questions for the 2 presenters now. So the remaining 2 topics will also be taken at a go. Then after the 2 topics, we also take questions. So I want us to take questions now for the solar presentation and also for the understanding pig genetics presentation. So if you have questions, you can kindly signify. The mic will be passed to you, and the questions will be answered. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, all. That was a nice presentation. I see you talk much on the breed and other parameters. But the most important is the disease resistance of this particular breed. I did not hear anything about the disease resistance, especially the African swine fever. Thank you.
Yeah. Especially African swine fever. That's animal industry disaster. Unfortunately, there is no disease resistance as far as African swine fever is concerned. All right? There is no vaccine as of yet. Don't be carried away. If anybody tells you there is a medication for it, I don't know of any medication for swine fever as of now. There is, of course, research going on in Spain as we talk, and it started with European Union money to produce a vaccine. It's not ready yet. There have been various tries in Vietnam, and I also heard of a variation in China. As far as Europe will say, they are not something to write home about yet. Okay? So, disease resistance. Like every other farm all over the world, the best approach is prevention. Okay? What we say is biosecurity, biosecurity, biosecurity. As far as African swine fever is concerned, keep people out. The number one vector for African swine fever are those two-legged people. They come in various ways, either from the feed company truck, or maybe from the man that wants to come and buy pigs, or from we even have a case of a vet, animal technicians, you know. So we have to be very, very careful to know the people that comes in contact with comes in our farm. All right. As far as pig resistance is concerned and related to African swine fever, nothing as of yet. Okay. Collaborate with a very, very good vet, and they will put you through. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Just to buttress what he said, on biosecurity, we still have a topic on biosecurity. So we are going to be enlightened more on what it means and how we can go about it. So the next question, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you for a very wonderful. Our pig production systems in this part of the world. Our problem has been mainly stock. Are the large white and the landrace available? Because if you did go around the piggeries, you discover that we keep recycling whatever slaughter pigs that are available. Then secondly, has some study been done on the response of this pure breeds per se on our feeding system? There are no standard pig feeds in this country. If you walk to the farmers, they collect a lot of, like the PKC, apart from the PKC, which is what you might call the base material, every other thing goes. Fruit peels, cassava peels, and whatever. We don't really have a standard feeding system. So one, can we get the pure breeds, and what is the response of these pure breeds to our feeding environment? Thank you very much.
Thank you. The pure breeds are available. No, I rephrase, sorry. the pure breeds can be available. Okay? 15 days ago, we sent a shipment to Cameroon. Cameroon already got theirs. So I hope, and that's why I'm here. I hope by the end of the year, I will be able to fix and consolidate how the animals will come. Of course, it takes some investment. Okay, it takes some investment. These animals has to come from France, from Europe in general, and I will not hide it that we are looking for collaboration with someone with isolated farm, a farm that is isolated, that there's a criteria for this, so that we can produce in the country these F1 gilts. Okay, so we can. I'm open for a one-on-one later on, whoever wants, so we can discuss more on this issue. As far as feed is concerned, however, feed, yeah, my nutritionist friends will know better, but I can tell you that there is quality raw material in Nigeria that can be blended together to make good feed. I assure you, yeah, there is. You said, you know what they say? You said we have to leave. There's a proverb. We cannot do somebody else's job. Okay? What I usually advise is, as far as nutrition is concerned, we should leave it to the nutritionist. Look for a nutritionist. As we see vets, they have their own job to do in the farm. We have to collaborate with a good nutritionist, a good feed factory. All right, so that we avoid mixing things and substandard things together to get a cheap price, and at the end of the day, we're doing nothing. And you know what? You are running around looking for PKC, running around looking for pills, cassava pills, and trying to bargain with A, trying to bargain with C. That's your farm. You don't stay there. Am I making sense? You don't stay in the farm. So what is happening that you don't know? So I will transfer the responsibility. That's what I will do. I'll look for a feed factory that I can trust. All right? And give him the responsibility of fixing me good quality meal. I try him for 3 months. If in the 4th month is not coming well, I look for another one. Clean and clear. And I will stay with my pigs. So it's possible. It's done all over the world. I hope I made some sense. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I think we can give a round of applause to Mr. Atomi Olatunde so he can have his seat. I don't know if anybody has a question for the solar presenter.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first presenter. I saw the things, inverters, the batteries, and all that. Now, I assume, because farms are located maybe where you don't even have the national grid, that you use sunlight to now charge the batteries.
Yes, sir.
In times when the sun may not be adequate, what is the alternative source of charging the batteries? Thank you. You wanted to say about it, but you didn't explain it.
Sorry about that. The power box system has the option of coming with a generator also, where in case of emergency, like when you have maybe rain has been falling for like 3 days and the batteries are down, you can just charge them for about 1 hour and switch it off. Emergency purposes. Does that answer your question, sir? Yeah, that's right. The power box also comes with a generator set, a small generator set for emergency purposes when the sun is out. Yes. When you don't have the grid, you don't have the sun, generator can, you just bring it out of the box and you charge your battery. Sir? We supply the generator. The generator set comes with it. Yes, everything comes together. Yes, sir. Yes. Any other question, please?
Thank you very much, Mr. Dewey. And thank you very much for our attention so far. Before we go on to the next topic, I would like to make some recognitions. Of course, we are all special people and wonderful people. A round of applause for ourselves once again, please. A round of applause for ourselves. Yeah, I would like to just quickly recognize Mr. Martin Akpa, the former state chairman and the former national vice president of the Poultry Association of Nigeria. Please, you can just signify and all right, thank you very much, sir. We also have in our midst the chairman of PAN Enugu, Mr. Olisa Onu. You are welcome, sir. Yes, we also have the chairman of the Anambra chapter of PAN, in person of Dr. Eisi Onyekachuku. Thank you very much, sir. We also have Dr. Okeke of Cozy Consult. Okay, you're welcome, sir. Yes, we also have engineer Tochuku Kalu from Kalahari Farms. Can just signify, okay, thank you. We have Dr. Onyedika Anyaloju. Please forgive me. Wait first. Wait first. Please forgive me if I murder any name. You just you forgive me. I did not murder it, but you understand what I'm saying. Thank you very much. Dr. Onyedika, the former state chairman of PAN, and is also the national second secretary, national zonal secretary, I'm sorry, for the Southeast for PAN. You can, okay, you're welcome, sir. I apologize for the name. So, lastly, we have in our midst the SSA to the governor of Enugu State, who also is a former president of the Nigerian Veterinary Medicine Association, the person of Dr. Godwin Abonyi. Thank you very much for coming, sir. And a round of applause for everyone, all of us. We are all welcome. Thank you very much. So, I will, without wasting our time, we want to go to the third topic: improving profitability in livestock farming. The person that is going to be handling this for us is Dr. Dotun Oladile. You're welcome, sir. Please, a round of applause for him. He's a veterinary doctor. As he comes on stage, I will just read a few things about him. He's a veterinary doctor with over 22 years experience. He has worked in the private sector for about 17 years, out of which he spent 15 years, 4 months in Animal Care Services Consult. He was the head of laboratory services at Animal Care. He is a lecturer at the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine of the University of Jos, and currently is the acting director of the Veterinary Teaching Hospital at University of Jos. Kindly welcome with me Dr. Dotun Oladile as he takes us on improving profitability in livestock farming.
Great farmers, it's a great privilege being in your midst. I will say this is about my third time of being in Enugu. While I was still in animal care, I visited Enugu, I think, on 2 occasions. I'll be speaking with us on a very, very important topic. Are you ready? Mr. Raphael? Okay. Before it comes up, let me just ask a few questions so that we set the ball rolling. How many of you here are broiler farmers? Can I see your hands up? Broiler farmers. You raise broilers. Okay. Now, how many of you raise broilers and layers? Okay. And how many of you are pig farmers here? That was a very important question somebody asked on availability of materials for pigs to make feed and all that. In the course of my presentation, I'll be showing us something very important. One of the farms we established in Ogun State before I left animal care to join University of Jos. The manager who happens to be there, I've known him for, let me say, not less than about 15 years. He's a friend of mine. And I got him to join that farm so that we could start the operations on that farm, both for poultry and for swine. Now, what they are doing in their swine operation, I would want those of you who are very smart to grab as much as you can, because you won't see these things in textbooks. Hello? Some things I'll be discussing with you today are outside textbook. Yes, I'm in the academia, but I believe in field operations. I always tell myself, what the farmer needs is provide solution. They don't want grammar. They are not interested in what you studied. Yeah, yes, you are professor of this or that. Forget all those ones. A farmer needs solution. Am I correct? And that's why we are here. So, Mr. Raphael, am I still waiting for you? Okay, I should fire on with what I'm saying. So, in the course of the presentation, there are some very important facts I'm going to share with us. Maybe, if you really like those facts, you are free to snap those things, have them on your camera. The most important thing is you being able to implement these things, because one very strong reason why you are into business is for what? I didn't hear. Profit. You are raising chicken not because you want the chickens to be your pets. Am I correct? You don't keep chicken as pet. No matter what, one day the chicken will enter pot. Not be so. Yes. Because you are interested in profit, today you need to understand what are those things that can help me to make more profit, and what are those things that can steal my profit. How do I prevent these things? We are going to see this all together, and that's why we are here. Now, one of the things I also do from time to time, I try to see how farmers fare in some basic things on their farm. Some of us, over the years, you've been into this practice, maybe over 10 years in poultry farming. Can somebody here explain to me or explain to us how he or she administers Lasota? Maybe you have like 1,000 birds you want to vaccinate with Lasota. Can somebody just maybe one person, if you can volunteer? Something as simple as giving Lasota, you will be amazed that so many people do not understand it. And the ignorance of that has led to a lot of problems on farm. Can anybody? Don't feel shy. Don't feel shy. You may not understand where I'm going. Okay, sir. Okay, 2 people have indicated. The man in specs. Yes. Your name, sir. Start with your name. May we know you? Yes.
My name is Alo Cosmos. I'm from Sudan, Uji local government, Enugu State.
Okay, sir.
It depends, like the capacity. You know, we have 100, we have 200, we have 500, we have 1,000.
Yes.
Yeah. So assuming now for 1,000 doses, assuming for maybe 1,000 beds, like the way I used to.
Yes.
You know, when they are 6 months for the first the first stage, they are not taking water much.
Okay.
So I normally, like 1,000 pets, about that 1,000 dose with the 20 liters of water, going straight to maybe the service provider, like the outlet veterinary doctors, to pick the Lasota. Then
at what age are you describing this now?
Yeah, that's this. I normally give Lasota. I combine Lasota Gomboro for the first time 8 days.
Why combining Lasota and Gomboro? You can see some people are saying,
Yes.
You understand? Now, sorry, before you go further, you may say, why is he doing that? He will tell you, it doesn't give me any problem. Isn't it? The truth, sir, is that you may not have any problem now, but apply wisdom and avoid what can trigger problem. Continue.
Okay. That's picking it from with the temperature value of maybe about 0%. I can say it should not be less than. Then they have to wrap it.
Okay.
Then with a cooler.
Yes.
To maintain the temperature.
Okay.
Just about 5 minutes drive from where I'm picking it to the production farm.
Okay.
Just like that. We add to there's a normal ambient temperature of water, about 20 degrees centigrade.
Okay.
Dissolve the basin there and start distributing.
Now, for the 1,000 birds, you've not told me the volume of water you are going to.
Like I'm buying 1,000 doses capacity of a basin.
Yes.
With 20 liters of water.
Okay, so if there are layers, are you still going to use 20 liters?
Well, I cannot answer for layers because I'm.
Okay, you tried. Please, let's clap for him. Now, because you answered my question, sir, please let me give him something for pure water. Thank you, sir. Okay, this is for your pure water. There was a second person. Can you, yes, quickly let us have an idea. Then I will now start speaking. Can somebody give him a microphone?
My name is Igwebiko Okonkwo. I'm from Anambra State.
Okay.
The pest I'm taking care of is layers.
Okay.
They are about 5,060 something.
Okay.
Then the way I minister this Lasota to them is that when I buy 2,005 doses.
Okay.
2.
Okay. That's 5,000.
5,000.
Okay.
Yeah. And 1,000 doses.
Extra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I preserve it with ice block.
Okay.
Then I apply it with 200 liters of water.
200 liters.
Like 2,005 doses.
Yes.
With 200 liters of water.
Okay.
You
that means for the 5,000, you will need 400 liters.
Yes.
Okay.
For the 5,000, what I use is I use 6,000 for 400 liters of water.
Okay. Yes.
6,000 doses.
Yes, I understand.
For 400 liters of water.
Yes.
And that is how I used to do it.
Okay.
Then in occasion, I do it once in a month.
Okay.
And some weather like now,
yeah,
I apply it once in 2 weeks.
Why?
Yeah, the thing is that it's idea gotten from somebody.
Thank you very much. Look, clap for him. Let us drop something for him also. At least he listened and he answered my question. Ladies and gentlemen, I will quickly share something with you before I go into my main presentation. Over the years, I've found out that there are a lot of things that happen with the administration of Lasota. And because of some of these errors that people make, they run into crisis. I know a particular farm somewhere in Oshogbo, they decided to change their vaccination program for reasons best known to them. And within a period of 6 weeks, they lost broilers worth about 25 million naira. That was in 2008. You can imagine the value of what they lost if you compare with what it is now. When I started investigating, I found out that there were errors in the vaccination. What happened? they started losing their birds heavily. I started having high mortalities. One day I asked one of the supervisors in Yoruba, only 4,000. That is how many chickens died today. He said 4,000. Now 4,000 broilers dropping dead in one day. It was so bad that they had to lock up everything on that farm at some time. The slaughterhouse, the processing plant, they had to shut everything down. All because they had issues with the way they were administering their Lasota. I checked the potency of the Lasota. I found out that the strength of the Lasota vaccine was still okay. But the way they administered it was wrong. And then we now collected blood samples from various ages of the broilers and found out that they did not respond to the vaccination. Potency of vaccine is okay, but response was poor. What happened in between? At some point, they felt that, look, if we raise our broilers, we get them from the hatchery, we just give them oil vaccine, 0.2, just once. And then we now begin to spray Lasota. Not giving it in water, we spray the Lasota once and leave them like that they will be covered. By the time the birds are approaching 6 weeks, explosion will start, mortality. It got so bad that they now realized that for each set of birds they were placing, they were not even reaching up to 6 weeks. Mortality started again from 5 weeks, from 4 weeks of age. It kept moving backward. And the MD of that farm told me, doctor, I think the way the thing is happening, if the mortality continues that way, it means that by the time it comes down to 2 weeks that it starts, it will now fizzle out. I say it will never fizzle out. What is happening is that the pressure of the feed virus is increasing on your farm. Birds will not reach 6 weeks before it start killing them like before. It came to 5, it came to 4, and it's coming down. It tells you that there's a lot of problem. And I asked him a question. Do you have disinfectant on your farm? He said no. A multi-million naira investment, no single drop of disinfectant. I had to go and get a carton of Discol on credit and pleaded with them to give me so that I can give this big MD of a farm to take to his farm in Oshogo, because he was careless with his with the biosecurity. He was careless with the vaccination, and he was reaping what he had sown. Ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be sharing some very important facts with us, and I want us to be attentive. Avoid what can kill your profit. I'm speaking on improving profitability in livestock farming. That particular farm I talked about in Oshogo, we eventually controlled the problem, but the losses was too much. It was because of their carelessness. We'll be looking at a few things. One, the introduction. We'll look at several ways of ensuring profit in poultry business. We'll also look at the issues of records and measuring performance against standards. We'll look at important facts for profit in broiler farming, economics of broiler farming, important facts for profitability in pullet rearing and layer production, and then we'll look at the killers of profitability in poultry business. Then we'll look at the economics of pig farming. Now, you will agree with me today that one way or the other, as a poultry farmer, you are affected by some of the things I've listed here. A lot of challenges. And one of the things I remember, Robert Schuller wrote a book. He said what? Tough times. But only who? Only the tough people. Are you following me? We want you people to be tough. We want you to be strong. And that's why we want to open up so many things to you that will help you. Yes, we know that there's high cost of feed raw materials and finished feed, high cost of day-old chicks. I was communicating with somebody, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? In Jos, one of the hatcheries there, the broiler sells for nothing less than 630 naira. I don't know how much. How much are you buying broiler here now? 700. Not be smart, you know. About a month ago, it was like that in Jos. You know, that means we're even enjoying in Jos. Okay, how much is a crate of egg here in Enugu? 1,750. Honestly, you people are enjoying here. In Jos, the Yankaji people have forced farmers to bring the price of eggs down to as low as 1.5. Is that bad? And the price of feed has not come down. So you can see what people are facing in Jos is different from what you are facing here. Increasing cost of vaccines, drugs, and disinfectants. These are some of the issues we are seeing. Hello? Let me say something. If you have never experienced it before, I'm praying you should not experience it. Where somebody will produce feed and we use premix that he never knew was fake premix. Hello? I know a farm somewhere in Ijebu-Ode. They started having crisis. Their production was nosediving. In the first pen, they used to have about 222 crates of eggs per day. As at the time I got there, it had reduced to about 55 crates. And with all the lasota they gave and every other thing they gave, production did not go up. Then I started asking questions. During the post-mortem examination, I noticed some lesions in the esophagus of the birds. And from what I know in pathology, I knew that this had to do with vitamin A deficiency. So I started asking them questions. I said, can I see a sample of your premix? They said, yes. They brought sample to me. All I did was, I tried to perceive it. I found out that it did not have any aroma. It just be like a lubo. You know this thing where they take do amala. You don't get any aroma. You know, if you open a bottle of multivitamin syrup and you try to perceive it, how is the aroma? Very nice. His premix had nothing that pointed towards presence of vitamins. I said, is this the premix you are using? He said, yes. I shook my head. He was scared. He now told me that they have another one that just brought today. I said, go and bring that one. When he brought it, I smelled it again. It was 0. I shook my head. He was scared. I said, my friend, this is the reason why your production will never go up. Go and redraw all the feeds, bags of feed you have in the pens. Take it back to your feed mill. And I called a particular fellow who was supplying genuine premixes, layer premix. I said, please come and supply premix to them on this farm. You will use this new premix and remix it with that same old feed and start serving your birds. Ladies and gentlemen, within 5 days, that pen that I said their production had nosedived to 555 from 222 crates. The production, they called me back and told me that crossed 200 crates already. We didn't do any magic. Only the premix will change. What I'm trying to say is this. There's fake premix in town. There's fake methionine. In fact, fake limestone too. I have seen that one before. Production nosediving from 90% in a set of parent stock in Ibadan, from 90 to 40, because the limestone they were using, unknown to them, was having only 11% calcium. It was an adulterated limestone, and it was supplied in large quantity. And they bought it. You know what it means? You are paying hundreds of thousands or millions to a supplier, and you never check the quality of the material you are using. Honestly, you are playing with fire. These are things we must avoid. Know where you buy. If you are making feed yourself, know where you get these things and check the quality of your raw materials. All this will impact negatively on your business. Remember, you are not into a hobby. Poultry business is not a hobby. It's a serious business. So whatever can affect your profitability, you run away from it. Profitability is not about numbers. You will tell me you have 10,000 birds. I will congratulate you. 10,000 birds. How many crates of egg are you able to get per day? What's your percentage production? If you have 10,000 birds and your percentage production is just 68, maybe you are just breaking even, and your birds are over 50 weeks of age. You are not in business. Somebody may have just 1,000, but is getting nothing less than 85% at 50, 55 weeks. That person is doing business. I hope you understand what I'm saying. That you have 10,000 birds does not make you to be profiting in that business. That's where I'm going. If you have a lower number, but you have very good performance, then you are in business. So it's more about the efficiency of your operation that matters, not the number. Let's quickly look at some of those things you need to know and you need to do to remain in profit. Number one, if you want to ensure profits in your poultry business, you must have a good understanding of the business. Whether it's broiler you want to raise or turkeys or whatever, have a good understanding. If possible, have hands-on experience. It's not just enough to be an investor. I remember one day, a particular man, he had invested a lot. When I say a lot, hundreds of millions of naira in his business. When he was starting his business, I was able to get some very good guys who were there as supervisors, and they started building up the farm. One day, he told me, he said, "Doctor, all these things you are teaching my boys, even me, I don't know. I want to know this formulation. I want you to teach me." I said, "Oh, guy, it depends on you. You're a big man now. You don't have time like small boys like us." He came to my office, spent 3 hours just to learn poultry formulation. If you are into this business, you need knowledge. It's not only the people who are working for you that should have that knowledge. Please, note this. You also need to draw out a business plan. You don't just jump into business like that. My friend is into broiler farming. Me too, I will do it. Because after 1 year of doing it, he bought a car. And so what? Hello? If you are looking at the car that he bought as an evidence of profitability, you might miss it. You need to have a business plan. Know what goes in and what comes out in that business. Know the key factors that lead to losses. For example, poor quality day-old chicks. If you are buying day-old chicks and you are not sure of the source, you might run into crisis. I always tell the story of a friend of mine. He bought 12,000 day-old chicks from a very popular hatchery, and within 2 weeks, 10,200 were dead. And what killed them? Aspergillosis. My friend never knew that it was fungal infection killing his birds. He was busy pumping antibiotics. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like, pump all the antibiotics and oncobiotics and all the biotics. As long as you don't know what you are dealing with, you're only wasting your resources. Meet those who will help you to diagnose that problem. Don't waste your money. Poor quality and quantity of feed and water. This can lead to losses. Rodent invasion. Soldier ant attacks. These are some of the things I've seen on farms. I know a farm in Ibadan. In one day, they killed over 1,000 rats. High level of parasites, endo or ectoparasites. Poor vaccination techniques. Pilfering. When people have several ways of stealing on a farm, they know how they will move the eggs out. The manager will not know. This can be a big source of problem. You must know how to block all these possible ways of losses. That's what we are trying to say there. Poor vaccination techniques. Let me sound a note of warning here. Hello? If anybody tells you he can vaccinate, don't just say yes, because the person is my friend, let him come and vaccinate. A particular farm somewhere in Anambra, I was called some years ago that they were having some high mortalities. And when I started carrying out the postmortem examination, I noticed something that was common to virtually all the layers. All of them, I noticed that their livers were damaged. And there was a white liquid on their liver, each of them. Then I asked a question. Did you people vaccinate these birds recently? They say yes. Which vaccine? Say we gave 3-in-1. So I say, you thought you were giving intramuscular. This one are intraliver. The person who was injecting did not understand the basic anatomy of the chicken. If you have the breast muscle like this, and somebody did not inject at the upper portion of the breast muscle and is coming to the lower portion, the risk is high to hit the liver. That was what started killing their birds. They never knew. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Call professionals to do the right thing for you. Don't give to people who don't know what they are doing. How do you ensure profit in your poultry business? You must consistently carry out market surveys and have a good network for sales of what you produce on your farm. Don't limit yourself to just that locality. Have a good network. Know how you can push your eggs, your broilers to different locations. You need to be loyal to your egg buyers who are consistent during egg glut period and ensure that you establish what? Some of us, we only like to collect. You know, one drop. Hello? If your own are just to collect, you know, good. The farmers or the buyers will come from January to December. They are bringing their money. You are selling eggs. One day you should call them, maybe towards Christmas. You guys have been very good to me. Mr. A, you bought the highest number of crates of eggs from my farm. So you are having the first prize. So you are receiving your prize, prize A. The second person, second highest, prize B. The third person, prize C. And every other person will receive a consolation prize. You know that you don't do anything like that. Please, if you have not been doing it and you want your farm to grow and you want these people to keep coming, start practicing little things like this. It attracts profits. I'm telling you. Now, where possible, avoid credit sales, especially 100% credit sales. Don't tell me the person is your cousin. Your cousin can run away with your money. Abi a lie? They can disappear with your money. Even if now your church member or now your pastor, brother, may you not give them credit. Hello? May go report you to pastor. Are you following me? Because if wahala starts and your money hook and bank they chase you up and down, you think say pastor go say he won't help you with any money from tithe. Use your brain. Are you following me? Don't run yourself into trouble. Listen to feedbacks from your staff. This is where some MDs are having problems. They talk to everybody as if they are just slaves. I've seen the MD of a farm talking to his manager as if the manager was like a rat. The manager will try to explain something. He will say, shut up. I've been in this business for so and so period. And so what? Listen to people. When you get feedbacks from your staff, from customers, from neighbors, you act right and act promptly so that you can remain in business and have good profits. So how do we measure performance against standard? You can't measure your performance if you don't keep records. Somebody had talked about records here today. If you don't keep records, you are out of business. Now, what are those things that should be in your records on the farm? Number one, the pattern of growth of birds. Those of you who are broiler farmers, raise up your left hand. Just your left hand. Now, for those of you who are broiler, no, still raise it. For those of you who are broiler farmers, and you have a weighing scale, retain that left hand. Okay, I can see there are serious-minded people here. Thank you. If you don't have a weighing scale and you are just doing broiler business anyhow, you won't understand what I'm about saying. The pattern of growth is very important. The egg production record and the population of your birds, all this should be on your record. The frequency and the cost of mortality should also be on your record. If the chicken died as a result of pecking or stampeding, you won't go and put it there that chicken just died like that. Because if you say chicken just died, the next natural thing a farmer will think of is, I want to give what? Antibiotics. Antibiotics will not control stampeding, neither will it control cannibalism. Are you following what I'm saying? The nature of the mortality should be indicated in your record. The type of vaccines or medications administered should be there. The feed and water consumption, all this should be there. If you're a broiler farmer, in your records, you should try to have a column for standard so that by day old, when you weigh your broilers, you will know their average weight. Then by week 1, week 2, week 3, you'll be checking whether the weight of your broilers meets up with the standard weight for that age. This is very important because if you are falling behind, you need to work fast to ensure that you meet up. You need to find out, why is this so? Why am I losing weight of my broilers? Now, if you are into broiler farming or layer production, wow, I need to move fast. You see, they are warning you, Mr. Moses. They are warning you. Okay, let's see how we can move. In your records, it's very important, as I said, you need to have standard for feed consumption, body weight gain, livability. All these are very important. For broilers, if you are stocking broilers, let's say about 1,000, there are basic things you need to know. Number one, the weight at day old and the weight at day 7. The weight at day 7 should be, your target is that the weight at day 7 should be times 4 of the weight at what? Day old. That is your target. If you miss that natural growth pattern, you have missed a lot. I have seen some that within 1 week, broilers that came in maybe 40 grams, by the time they are 1 week, instead of weighing close to 150, 160 grams, they're just struggling with 120 grams. It tells us that something has gone wrong. So this is very important. This is part of the standard we need to have or we need to know. It's not responding. Can you just go to the next slide? Okay, it's slow. I can see. Thank you. Now, this table I'm showing you here, if you like, you can snap it. No wahala. It's a guide that will help. If you are a broiler farmer, if you look at it, at day old, you got 100 chickens. It is expected for a good livability, when they are around, let's say, 7 weeks, you should still have about 96% of your birds. That means in 100 birds, you shouldn't lose more than 4 when they have reached week 7. That is the standard. Secondly, when you are starting your birds, you can start them with broiler super starter mash. Hello? Now, the broiler super starter is richer than the broiler starter. And the broiler starter is richer than what? The broiler finisher. So what this is showing is that there's a sequence, a pattern that should be followed if you want to get good results. Now, on a normal pattern of consumption, on the average, your commercial broiler chick in the first week of life will take an average of 20 grams of feed per day. Actually, it will range between 10 to 27 because as it is growing, it will be eating more. But the average will be 20 grams per chick per day in week 1. So in the first week of life, this broiler will eat about 140 grams of feed. And we now have this weight of 160. If we subtract the weight at day old, you can now calculate the feed conversion ratio, which is 1.16, which is very good. One of the things that can help you to achieve this so that you won't be losing money through wastage of feed is to use feeders like this that can help you to conserve your feed. It will be very difficult for the birds to waste any feed. All the feed will be consumed by the birds. You won't have your feed spilling all over the place. That is one of the ways a lot of farmers lose money. You can have very good FCR of less than 2 for your broilers. Are you following what I'm saying? Hello? Now, broiler farmers, can anybody answer this question? If I say your FCR for your broiler should not be more than 2, what do I mean by that statement? Can anybody help? Please feel free. Don't be shy here. Huh? Can anybody help? That if we say the feed conversion ratio, FCR, for your broilers should not be more than 2.0. You can see that with the calculation I've done here, all these ones are not up to 2. The quantity of feed eaten all over the increase in weight gain within that period. Can anybody help me with that? If I say your FCR should not be more than 2, what do I mean by FCR of 2? That is what I'm even saying. Okay?
It means that 2 kilograms of feed should be less than 2 kilograms of feed to convert 1 kilogram body weight or 1 gram body weight.
How many of you understand what he has just said? Hello? Please clap for him. You got what I'm saying? It's not just clapping. Oga Moses, please come and give him something for pure water. Today, in fact, we're going to share pure water allowance, honestly. Aha. Thank you very much. If you like, don't answer my question. Just be looking at me. Eh? Hello. What we are saying is that your brother you are keeping for up to 7 weeks, cumulatively from this table, we eat feed of about 5 kg. 5 kg feed, but we give you the weight of 2.5 or almost 2.6 kg body weight. 5 over 2.5, what would that give you? Hello? 5 divided by 2.5, is it not going to be 2? Now, when you have less than, let's say 5 divided by almost 2.6, your SCR will be 1.97. So what we are saying is that your SCR should not be more than 2.0. And for you to achieve this, feed efficiency is very important. Now, one of the things you also need to know is that your broiler super starter should have a crude protein of 25%. Unfortunately, some people will tell you they are producing super starter for you. If you are a wise farmer and you buy a large quantity of such feed, once in a while, check whether what they are telling you is the truth or not. Hello? If they are telling you lies, it will reflect on your birds. Your broiler starter should have 23% crude protein, and your broiler finisher should have 21%. I have seen broiler super starter from a particular manufacturer. Instead of 25%, what I saw was 17%. And somebody is paying heavy money for that, and they are cheating the farmer. So it's important to know this. One of the things that can kill profitability in your poultry business, especially in broiler business, is when you are milling feed with soya that is of bad quality. If it's not well processed, it will result in a big problem. Can you help me, Mr. Okay, good. Can you see this? This may not make sense to some of us. I had to collect soybean meal from a farm where they told me that they make their own, or they bought soya from a very good source. I noticed that the broilers were not growing. They didn't understand what I was saying, and I insisted that I should have their SBM. When I tested it in the lab, it failed completely. In fact, later on, the MD of that farm explained to me that they lost money worth about 10 million naira on that particular batch of broilers. Why? Very poor weight gain. They went to stockpile poor quality soybean meal, which they were using. So avoid that kind of thing. Now, I've talked about the issue of the FCR not exceeding 2. What does it mean if we say that one broiler will cumulatively eat 5 kg of broiler feed to give you a weight of 2.5 kg? It means that in the first 4 weeks of life, one broiler chick will eat up to 1.7 kilogram of broiler starter or broiler super starter. Then the remaining 3 weeks, it will consume broiler finisher cumulatively of 3.3 kg. When you combine the two, one broiler cumulatively from week 1 to 7, we eat 5 kg of what? Broiler feed. You can then use that to start calculating. I want to raise 100 broilers. How many bags of broiler starter will I need? How many bags of broiler finisher will I need? If that is what you have at the back of your mind, you can do that calculation. You must also be careful when you are feeding broilers. By the time they get to week 3, especially during very hot period, you suspend feeding at some point in time in the day. You do more feeding in the very early hours of the morning and very late in the evening. If they are supposed to take 2 bags of feed for that particular period, the 2 bags should be given early in the morning and late in the evening. I've seen where somebody committed an error and he lost about 600 birds because of this mistake. So if you are raising 1,000 commercial broilers up to 7 weeks of age with feed costing 7,600, some broiler feeds actually cost more than this. You will spend 1,520 naira to cumulatively feed a broiler to attain 2.5 kg body weight with 5 kg of feed. So the feed that chicken will eat for 7 weeks will be 1,000 what? 520 naira. How much do you sell live broiler here in Enugu? Live. let's say 7 weeks on the average. How much? One. Hello? 3,000. That's good. Now, out of that 3,000 naira, remove 1,520. When you say 3,000, I said 7 weeks. If your chicken at 7 weeks has qualified to become pig and you sell it 3,000, it means at least you have close to 1,500 difference, because the cost of the feed is going to be 1,520. But if you are keeping your broiler for just 6 weeks and you are interested in 2 kg, you are not interested in 2.5 kg, it would have eaten maximum of 4 kilograms cumulatively, and that will cost 1,216 naira. If you are keeping your broilers, you said you want to keep it till after Easter. That time it will be about 14 weeks old. Hello? I want to say something. I have no problem with that. But know that for every extra week, after week 6, if you are feeding them on the average at 150 grams of feed per pod per day, it means for every 1 week, each broiler will consume feed worth about 320 naira per week. Over a period of 2 weeks, it will take feed worth about 600 and what? 640 naira. So when it is 8 weeks old, instead of selling it at 6 weeks, you understand, you sold it at 8 weeks, it has consumed feed of extra 640 naira. When you are going to sell, you must incorporate that into your sales. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Now, this is very important. You also need to look at the cost of the day-old chick, because if you don't consider the cost, you will be losing. At some point, it was 450 naira in Ogun State, but I learned a few days ago it had gone to 630 or so. You also consider the cost of medication and vaccination. Maybe 100 naira to 120 naira you spend per broiler on the average. Salaries, electricity bill, breeding materials, all these things you consider. Now, the current cost of broiler feed has doubled what it used to be in 2018. I have my records. And when I compared, I found out that the cost of broiler feed today is now ×2 of what it was in 2018. But has the price of broiler, has it doubled ×2? Hello? If it has not doubled the way you expect, it means you need to double your efforts at reducing your losses. Are we together? One of the major ways of reducing your losses is to avoid wastage of feed. I was pointing at this feeder. I know why I was pointing at it. A friend of mine who is a broiler farmer in Jos was sharing his experience with me. And this is the summary of what I want to say. He buys usually about 2,000 broilers, maybe once in a month. And I asked him, how much did you sell your last set of broilers? He told me something that was shocking. He said he does not sell each one more than 1,900. I said, how come? He said, well, he is a mass producer. He's not interested in too much profit. He has a lot of market for his own broilers. That if he makes 300 naira per broiler with good livability, for him it is okay. I said, how were you able to achieve it? He said the last set of broilers he raised, cumulative feed consumption for each of them on the average was just 3.3 kilograms. I was amazed. 3.3. Of which at week 6, the maximum should be 4 kg. That means he was able to save about 700 grams. Are we together? 0.7 kg. Multiply it by 2,000. That's a lot of feed and a lot of money. So he was able to avoid excessive use of feed. Why? He does not keep his broilers for more than 6 weeks. 5-6 weeks, he has sold most of them. Those that are males amongst them, by week 5, they would have crossed to about 2 kg body weight. So the economics of that man is different from some other people in Jos who would prefer to keep their own chicken till 8 weeks. And we tell you that come and buy this one, 3,005. Hello? For those people, they may not keep more than 100 chicken, but they will sweat and sweat looking for people to come and buy the 100 chicken. Whereas this man has ready-made market. Once they are ready, he just signals to the buyers and they come to pick them in large quantity. Now, another way he makes profit, not just by reducing the quantity of feed or avoiding wastage and harvesting his broilers early on time, and he has a good market. He also ensures that all the litter he gets, he will pack the whole thing. He says if he stocks about 2,000, by the time he's harvesting his broilers, he can get up to about 10 kg of 10 bags of the litter. And the 10 bags, each one about 100 kg, he will make 7,000 on each one. So extra 70,000 naira from shit money. You agree that shit money is not chicken change, though? There's money in shit. Are we together? There's money in chicken shit. In Jos, a bag of it is 7,000. Last year, November, when I wanted to do some potato cultivation, the guy who was assisting me got each bag for 6,000 naira. Between November and now, the thing has entered 7,000, and we are entering the planting season. So it's a lot of money. And what he also does to further reduce his losses is to ensure that the maize farmer who wants to buy poultry manure from him gives him maize at a lower cost. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's a very smart guy. He gets maize at a lower cost. He sells the poultry manure to them, and he has very good market for his broilers. The maize he uses, actually, he uses it on his layer farm. For the broiler, he uses finished feed. That was what he told me. So it's important we know some of these things. Now, I will need that video now. The video. Some people, because they feel that, look, we need to make more profit from this broiler. How do we make more profit? Let's look at this small video. Some people make money from selling parts of the chicken instead of the whole. Let's take a look at this. You can double click it. Is that not it? Can't it show on the presentation too? Double click the one on the presentation. Hello? You see what is happening here? This is evisceration. They are removing the intestine from these broilers. They have a way of selling the intestine to some catfish farmers. But look at what they are doing. They are using a defeathering machine, a small one. They can defeather more than 1,000 broilers a day if they are using this, depending on how soon they start the process in the morning. You can see the defeathering. Somebody is removing just the remaining few feathers there. These are the ones that were slaughtered. And look at the birds. This blood meal is not wasted. If you have a pig farm, you can convert that into extra feed. There's a way you can incorporate it into their feed. So let's move on. Let me say a few things on pullets, and then we'll fire on. We'll look at that of the economics of pig farming, and then we'll stop there. Move on, please. Move on, move on, move on. Okay, sorry. Let me. Can you help me scroll from there? Well, on that of pullets, while he is working on this, I asked some time ago that how many of us are into layer production? If you are here and you have had your layers giving you up to 90 to 95% in the last 1 year, can I see your hands up? There's nothing artificial. This is normal chicken, not be this thing. 90 to 95%. None. Good. Let me now tell you a story if you want to achieve that kind of thing before they get it up. There is this farmer I told one day, I said, sir, you've been in this business for years, I think for close to 30 years. I said, I want us to change some of the things you've been doing. And then he said, like what? I said, when you get the birds from the hatchery, I will do a day-old chick screening. And then when we do the screening, we'll be able to guide you on the vaccines, the drugs, and everything you need to use. Because if they come with an infection from the hatchery, we'll be able to detect that early enough, you understand, and then know what to do. This is the day-old chick screening I'm talking about. I was doing something like this sometime last week, Monday, in Jos, for a farmer at our poultry and fish clinic. We will take blood from the heart. With the blood, we will be able to know the level of protection they have against Newcastle disease, against Gumboro disease, and we can draw out a vaccination program. That was what I did for this Baba more than 10 years now. And I told him that every week that I will be coming to check the weight of your pullets. I gave them a program, what the weight should look like, week by week. The quantity of feed that should be eaten per bird, per day, for every week. I indicated everything. And I said, your manager should be the one to implement this. And I told the guy, if you can do this thing for me, I will drop something for you. He said, I said, okay, no problem. And the guy started. Week by week, I was monitoring those birds. Do you know that when these birds started laying, by the time they got to 27 weeks of age, their production hit 90%. By the time they entered 35 weeks, the production rose to 95%. Then I now noticed that from that week 27, they were giving me 90% and above continuously until week 47. How many weeks be that? Hello? 27 to 47, how many weeks? 20 what? Which is how many months? 5 good months. Go and check ISA, even ISA standard. That one beat it. This was in Ijebu-Ode in Nigeria, not England. Are you following what I'm saying? It started from the beginning. We were following their weight. Let me tell you what we did. If your day-old chicks come and they are 35 grams a day old, by week 1, they should enter 65 grams. That should be your target. Because if they don't meet up in terms of the body weight, you are going to have some crisis in the future. What is the crisis? They will not come into egg production on time. I have seen farmers that keep lamenting, doctor, my chickens are 23 weeks old. They've been eating and eating. I've not seen a single egg. How you go see egg? You don't follow the right standards. And if by week 12 you hit 1 kg, you're on the path to fly. That's what it means. Your target by week 12 should be 1 kg. Those of you who like buying point of lay from different places, if somebody tells you he wants to sell point of lay to you and they are 16 weeks old, ask him this question: what is the weight of your 16-week-old pullet? If the person cannot talk, he may end up selling nonsense to you. Because what he is selling to you may be 16 weeks old, but may end up having the weight of 11 weeks. What does that mean? It means you are 5 weeks behind when you are supposed to start enjoying their egg production. Are you following what I'm saying? So if you are buying point of lay, these are things you must know. The quantity of feed that should be taken, all these are also broken down here clearly. Now, if you want very good egg production, your chickens will need 14 to 16 hours of both natural and artificial light. It means that by the time it's getting to evening, between 7 and 10 or 10:30 p.m., you give them light. They can finish up their feed, drink more water, and you have better number of eggs. So one of the very key things, if you are here and somebody calls you, please, can you help me to plan what amount I will need? I want to borrow money from cooperative. I want to raise 1,000 chicken. I want to do them from day old. You will let him know that the major thing that will consume money is what? Feed. Are you following me? 1 day old pullet will need to start feeding from day old. Between day old and week 8. Thank you. I will be fast now. It will require 1.8 kg of chick mash, which means if you are raising 1,000 pullets, 1.8 times 1,000 will be 1,800 watts. 1,800 watts kg of feed for 8 weeks to raise them. For growers, it will need cumulatively, it will feed and consume 5 kg of grower mash between week 9 and 19 of age. This is very important so that you can do your calculation. And from week 20 to week 25, when the chickens will begin to produce enough eggs that can buy their feed per day, it will need about 4.62 kg of layer mash, assuming you want to target it towards that side, that period. So you can calculate this. With this simple calculation I've done here, 1,800 kg of chicks mash is 72 bags of 25 kg. And that at this cost of 6,800, it will mean 495,000 naira for the first 8 weeks. For grower, it will be 1.1 million for week 9 for the 5 tons, week 9 to week 19. By the time you put these two together, it means for me to raise the chicken up to week 19 from day old, I will spend money on feed per chick, 1,630 naira on feed for every day old chick till 19 week. How many of you understand what I've just said? Hey, if you can't understand this, I don't know how to help you. I mean, by day old to 19 weeks, the cost of the feed that the chicken will eat to grow to 19 weeks for one chicken is 1,600 and what? 30 naira. So those people who are selling point of lay to you, they are in business. How much is your point of lay now? 2.4. Okay, let's assume he's spending money on vaccinations. That one will go past 150 naira per chicken. Add it to 1,630. So let's assume you are not even spending more than 1,800 or 1,009. And the person is selling it to you at 2.4. He might go make his own profit. No be so. He's paying salary to some people. So this is just the simple way to understand this. Now, if you want to reduce losses, if your birds are getting to about 45 weeks, and you find out that some of them are not producing, they are kept in cages, it's very easy to spot those cages. 4 chickens are in a cage, you are seeing only 1 egg for the past 1 week. Mark that cage. What did I say? Mark it. You go there one day. There's a way you can check to know those that are laying. If you don't know how to do it, get a professional that can help you. They will separate those ones that are not laying. If the space between the pubic bone is so narrow that it's taking only 1 finger, as if na a cock, you go know say this one is just a chop feed. If your chicken they chop feed and they don't give you egg every day it swallows 30 naira of your money and it's not giving you one egg. 30 naira. If you multiply it by 100, how much is that? 3,000 naira. If 3,000 naira goes off every day because of chicken that refuse to give you egg, multiply that 3,000 times 30 days. Almost 100,000 you are losing. And you won't know where your money is going. You can call this kind of birds, sell them off so that you can maximize your profit. You can do this when your birds are caged. What are the killers of profit? Number one, pilfering. Control stealing on your farm. Whatever you can do to control stealing, please control. Number two, aflatoxicosis. It kills production. If you are milling your feed yourself and you don't use toxin binder in the feed, you're on your own. Please be wise. Don't run into this kind of crisis. I know a farmer who told me that this thing is actually a spiritual problem. He told me not to waste my time. He said, Dotun, kini iko nsoju lasan. He told me that there were some neighbors in the village who were the ones behind this problem. I said, Thank God he now finally listened to my advice. He was making his feed using wet maize. I did the analysis of the maize, and I found out that the maize was growing very serious mold. How can your chickens do well when they are eating this kind of thing? The man finally listened. Within 5 days, his production started coming up again. And he now realized that it was not a spiritual problem. It was just ignorance. What is this? How many of you know what I mean by Marek's disease? You must know this thing. No? Hello? Make you know they are ashamed now. Raise your hand. If you know Marek's, just raise your hand. Okay. Marek's is an example of chicken cancer. What did I say? What did I say now? May you never experience it in Jesus' name. You see, and I say amen now. Good. That's a prayer point. You can take it home. But to avoid problem of Marek's, let me tell you something. According to textbook, if Marek says sin, those birds are goners. I mean, it's like they are wasted. Just wipe them off. That's what textbook tells us. But over the years, we find out that it doesn't work that way. The way things work for us and the way God has helped us, I've been able to handle so many cases of Marek's through revaccination in the midst of outbreak. Some of my colleagues who are veterinary doctors say, no, it's not possible. I don't blame them. Now, waiting they teach us for school. But when you are taught in school, you can reteach yourself. Am I communicating? Reteach yourself. I've seen farmers who had invested over 100 million naira into their flock, and they came to me with this problem. And they were shocked. I said, there's a solution. They followed this thing, and they came out of it. There are procedures we follow. I don't have details to go into all that today. You can come out of it. What will be this one? May it never be your portion in Jesus' name. My friend is already standing. So I will be fast because of him. Now, let me say something. In Jos, we are still experiencing a few pockets of outbreak of avian influenza. In the last few weeks, out of about 20 cases, I remember, we're only able to manage to save about 6 flocks. To manage the outbreak such that we didn't allow it to explode. What I mean is that mortalities did not exceed 20% of the flock. Right now, government is not compensating. So even if you go and report yourself, they won't give you 1 kobo. And I will tell the farmer, it's up to you. We'll confirm it. If you want to make noise for them to come and wipe the remaining one, now you sabi. But if you can follow the instruction we give, we'll kill this thing, and then you can manage the remaining one until when they are spent. We've been able to help a few farmers that way. But beyond that, let me tell you, for those who want to remain in this business and they are investing heavily, they cannot do without vaccinating. Food and Agri Organization supports vaccination, but the Nigerian government is still sitting on the wall. They have neither agreed nor are they really disagreeing. And me, I go tell you, say, I get farmers will be saying, "Now my party them be," and I told them, "You better vaccinate." They got their birds vaccinated, and their birds are still well protected. There's a way we get it done, but we don't depend on vaccination alone. Your biosecurity must be strong. That is all I will say on AI. Newcastle disease is a very bad guy. I told you what it has done to some farms. It can waste somebody's investment. If your chicken drink nonsense water and they eat nonsense feed, they will lay nonsense what? Egg. And that will be nonsense profit. Do you understand my analogy? Let me advise you. If you don't want to see crisis on your farm, ensure that the microbial quality of your water is superb. I know a farm somewhere in Delta States. It's Uku, or what do you call that area? A vet doctor called me one day and said, "Doctor, we are losing chickens, seriously." When I got there, I saw a heap like this, like a small hill of dead chickens in just the first pen. Every day in that first pen, they lose over 200 chickens per day. And I asked the general manager, "Oga, when last did you wash your overhead tank?" The man was just doing like this. He could not give me an answer. I said, "Okay, give me the water from the nipple, from the tank, and from the borehole." To cut the story short, the following day, when I did the analysis, the result came out. The microbial load was explosively high. We could not count the bacterial colony. And I told him that from your nipple drinker, you need to deslime the water lines. Each day, they were losing over 200 layers in the first pen. They actually stocked 32,000. As at the time I got there, it was remaining 18,500 birds from 32,000. Bad water quality is one of the main killers of profit, I tell you. All the kidneys of the chickens I opened were already condemned. When this man did the sliming, he told me something. He said, "Doctor, we were shocked. Brown, black, green masses were coming out of the pipes." And what shocked him further was that same day, they did it overnight under darkness, based on the instruction I gave. The following day, all through, the total mortality was no more than 21 or so, compared to over 200 per day. Without antibiotic, they only deslimed the water line and the mortality crashed. If your chickens drink nonsense and they eat nonsense, they will do what? They will lay nonsense. Now, on a normal pig farm, there are 4 classes of pigs you should have. If you are smart, snap some things you are going to see. You have newborn piglets, winners, market pigs, and the breeder herd. My colleague had talked about some of those things earlier on swine. Now, what are those indicators of profitability? Number 1, good fecundity or fertility of the sows. Number 2, good litter size. I'm going to give you examples from a particular farm that I helped to start in Ogun State. This one is not theory. These are data I got from the manager just a few days ago. Now, on their farm, they actually they have land race and they have large white. You need to have a good growth with a target weight of 60 to 65 for the growers, maximum of 6 months of age, and farrowing rate of up to 3 times a year. How many of you have pigs that can produce up to 3 times a year? This was the same thing. 3 times in a year? Okay. Now, that is very important. Why am I saying this? Most farms, maximum 2. And the reason why some of these things happen is because of the management pattern. It is not just even the number of times, but how many. Like on that farm, it's a normal thing for one sow to produce 14 piglets because they got very good pure breed of the land race and the large white. Now, nutrition is very key. What is it that they do on this farm? This is where I'm going. And I'm giving you the freedom to snap so that you can grab the information and learn something. Let me say this, ladies and gentlemen. They are piglets. By the time they are weaning them, the average weight is 9.5 kg at 4 weeks of age. Hello? That is the average. So by the time they wean them, the next 3 weeks, they are going to place them on creep feed. The formulation for that creep feed Actually, it was one of the formulations I gave them for layer mash that they did some manipulation on it and they are using it as their creep feed. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they give the creep feed undiluted straight for 3 weeks and at 0.5 kg per pig. So for 10, if it's 0.5 kg and it's going to be for 21 days, 3 weeks, that will be 10.5 kg per winner will be consumed of that feed. The feed costs 246 naira per kg, and for the 10.5 kg, that will be 2,589 naira for one piglet in the first 3 weeks of feeding it. From week 8 to week 14, they use a grower ration for 7 weeks at 1.5 kg per pig per day. What is the constitution of their grower ration? They use 40% of the creep feed plus 60% of brewery waste. 1.5 kg per day, continuously for 49 days. That is 73.5 kg of pig feed. This 73.5 kg costs 155 naira per kg. So they will spend 11,000 naira, 11,400 naira on the grower feed for one pig to raise it to that level for a period of 7 weeks. Like I said, week 8 to week 14. So from week 15 to 24, the finisher ration will be given for 10 full weeks at 2.5 kg per day per pig. The ration cost consists of 20% of that creep feed plus 80% of brewery waste. No PKC myself here. No fruit or waste of fruit or anything. Just pure feed. For 70 days, this with the cost at 129 naira per kg, it will cost 24,000, almost 24,500 for one pig. The range of body weight within 5 to 6 months is 60 to 65 kg. That's what they achieve. And one pig would accumulatively consume 259 kg of feed from the creep feed to the grower to the finisher. And the cost of this feed per pig is 38,000 naira 371. So with miscellaneous expenses of 2,000 naira, you'll be spending 40,000 naira to raise that pig from day old to about 60-65 kg. The live weight in Ogun State is 850 naira per kg, while pork is 1,600 naira per kg. On the average, from the data he gave me, they do have about 11.5 to 12 kg increase every month per pig in terms of the increase in weight. So when you do that calculation, it costs 40,371 for feed, and you are selling that pig at 51,000 naira. That is the amount they sell it. They have a gross profit of 10,600 naira from one pig. If 10 pigs survive in a litter and you're able to keep them within that period, your profit for 10 pigs raised from a litter will be 106,290 naira using feed. Now, what are the things that kill profit in swine farming? Number one, poor nutrition. Don't feed nonsense kind of thing to your pigs. Get good quality, high quality pigs. Very important for good conversion. I am glad he gave an example of poor quality pigs, poor feed conversion. You need to ensure that there is no poor biosecurity and disease outbreak like African swine fever. This can kill the profits. From experience, if we see cases of African swine fever, there's a way we manage it to reduce the mortality. We don't just surrender and leave the thing to be spreading like that. One of the things that make African swine fever to spread fast is the use of wallows. How many of you have wallows on your farm? Don't be shy now. Talk now. More talk through. Oh yeah. Wallow in the pig farm. Pig farm. That place where they go enter, they go to play inside like this. Pig farm. Okay, thank you. Now, what I'm trying to say is that that thing can make disease to spread easily. Because from the urine, the sick one will pass out the virus. Another one will go and drink that water, and the virus will spread. To avoid that, there are certain things you need to do. Make sure you use what? Hello?
We should use what? Get a plumber. Buy nipple drinkers from my colleagues here. Get a plumber to fix it on your farm. The pigs will go there, they will drink their water. You won't have the issues coming up. You understand? Then another thing that can kill profit is poor mothering abilities of some sows. Some sows, they eat their piglet, cannibalism. Some will sleep on the piglets and cause high mortality. To avoid this, you need what I'm showing you here, a farrowing crate. This sow, as it is, cannot sleep on its piglet because this farrowing crate restrains its movement. Do you understand what I'm saying? It can either stand or lie down. Anytime it lies down, the piglets will go and take milk. Anytime it stands, it can take its feed. But it cannot lie down on any piglet or catch anyone and start eating. So this is a very strong advantage of using a farrowing crate on a farm. So any wise livestock farmer that will receive this information and run away from anything that will rob him or her of desired profit is only a wise farmer that will do that. God bless you.
A round of applause for Dr. Dutchman once again. Okay, maybe I did not say it very well. Kedu Konomere. So I'm happy we are all listening. So it means that we are still together. At least I have committed blunder with the language. Now you have corrected me. At least I know that we are all following. Sorry, when I was welcoming us the other time, sorry I did not mention some people. Mrs. Obi Eze is the former PAN vice chairman. Please, vice chairperson. Please, a round of applause for her too. Great nation. We also have in our midst Dr. Chinyere Anyawu, the PAN Enugu Zone Coordinator. Okay, thank you very much, Ma. We also have with us Teratiga Feed. They are a friend of our company, Big Dutchman, and their representative is here with us, Mr. Adeosun Oluwashiji. Okay, you are welcome. Yeah. We have another presentation actually, but this presentation will not hold because of the time. It's I believe we've all been hearing about biosecurity, and flock health. It's the person that's supposed to make the presentation, of course, is here, but because of our time, it will not be making the presentation. But all the presentations will be sent to our email addresses. I believe we all put down our email addresses at the registration point. I believe we all did that. Hey, thank you very much. So all the presentations, including the one that did not hold now, and the first three, will be sent to our email addresses. So now we just want to quickly take some questions from Dr. Dutchman's presentation. If you have questions, you can just signify. Maybe we take a couple of questions because of our time. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I believe the 3 questions will be taken. We don't want someone that will repent again that I have a question. So we're only taking 3 questions. So please just, Doctor, you can kindly give him the mic. Dr. Dutchman, please.
Good afternoon, great farmers. The presenter, thank you so much for wonderful work done. I have about 3 questions. One, when you ask people to discuss how they carry out vaccinations, I should think that one other thing that's very important about the Lasota vaccination is the source of water you use for the vaccination and the type of water you use.
For those who use inject, they use the, of course, injection water. But those who administer orally or by eye drop, the water they use is important. We should take note of that because some of them pick this water either from rainwater or even from sanitized water that contain chlorine, which actually will tend to affect the virus. Now, you talked about revaccination in Marex. Now, I know, usually we are told that Marex vaccines are given a day old at the hatchery. At times, if you're not confident with what they are giving, you give it within the next 2 days. Because this Marex outbreak, they usually manifest from 7 weeks upwards. How do you now go back to revaccinate them after that 7 weeks? Because we're also told that between the first day and second day that actually the vaccines confer the maximum level of immunity. Then, thirdly, in controlling the outbreak of ASF in farms, in piggery farms, you talked of wallowing, the wallow. Now, I think, we also realize that there are various ways through which this African swine fever virus can spread, including by aerosol. Because if you have a wallow, and maybe a wallow in each pen, the pig remains there, wallows there, and even if he spreads the water, he's just within that pen. Unlike the A, which is common to most of the animals in a given pen, assuming the confinement or the walls for that pen didn't go from the ground to the ceiling level. So I don't know whether I said something.
I understand.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Next person. There are 3 people, I think. Who was the second person?
Sir, please, the thing is that I want to know the actual way or format of applying this Lasota that cannot be effective. And secondly, about this pig of a thing, like someone told me, it's a veterinary doctor, that this swallowing helps the pregnant pigs when it is hot, that they normally go on that swallowing to get themselves okay. For myself, I don't have it. I used to pour the water when it is hot. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. My question still goes on vaccination.
Okay.
Lasota. Is it advisable to give Lasota on day 1?
When you got from the hatchery?
Yes. Yes, day old chick.
Let me start with your question, sir. Yes, one of the very important factors to consider when vaccinating is your water source. If you have your tap water from maybe waterworks, and you know from time to time they can add chlorine to it, don't make the mistake of making that type of water the type you will use for vaccination. Because if it's chlorinated, it's going to affect the vaccine virus. So you won't go for that. If you have a borehole or you have a well, that could still be better. Even to me, that is still much better than depending on rainwater. I hope you understand what I'm saying. It is also not advisable for somebody to use sanitized water. If you always treat your water, at least 2 days to the time you want to vaccinate, you can stop the water sanitation. The day you are vaccinating, you won't use the water sanitizer. And for a day or two after, you won't use any sanitizer.
After that, you can then continue. Now, on the issue of Marex vaccination, let me quickly say this, sir, that some vaccine manufacturers, people who produce like HVT Marex vaccine, I know of at least 3 of the vaccine manufacturers who advise that you will administer a day old and you can re-administer between week 3 and 4, especially in any place where Marex disease is already exotic. Do you understand that? So it's not restricted to the hatchery alone. But let me tell you, 52 weeks old layers, I've gotten them revaccinated before, and I got fantastic results. The mortality came down, production started coming up again. Before I revaccinate against Marex, I will take care of secondary bacterial infection or secondary viral infection. If they are having Newcastle disease with it, I will ensure that when I am revaccinating against Marex, the Lasota I'm going to use is incorporated into the diluent. Do you understand what I'm saying? We don't just do it anyhow. We investigate properly, and the pattern with which I will revaccinate on a farm could be different from another farm. I know of a farm that had serious aspergillosis. I had to take care of the aspergillosis before I now faced the Marex and the Newcastle disease. So the pattern used depends on what complications I'm having at hand. That is just it. So revaccinating, I can revaccinate at any age, depending on what I have seen. And the pattern I use in managing it depends on what is actually happening. On the control of African swine fever, I agree with you. It can spread by aerosol too. Not only through the water, but you will agree with me that that water is so important in the sense that the pigs will urinate there, they can defecate there, and through the urine and the feces, they will shed the ASF virus. A thirsty pig will go to that same water and drink the water. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it spreads easily. Like the farm I gave you the example of their feeding pattern, we don't have wallows on that farm. It's just strictly nipple drinkers. And one of the things that could help, if you feel because of the heat, you can have a small shower. Just open it once in a while. You will see them, they will go there by themselves. You understand? And the floor of that pen should slant such that when the water is coming down from the shower, it will drain out. So that takes care of the issue of heat. The best way of applying Lasota. Now, if you want to give Lasota, whether they are 1 week old or they are layers or they are growers, whichever, these are the few rules that will guide you. Number 1, you would have redrawn water from the birds for at least how many hours? You don't need to do it a day before. It's one of the reasons why some people will complain. I've given Lasota and the following day my production crash. Why not go crash? 3 hours is sufficient. Redraw all containers of water. Immediately you redraw that, serve the feed immediately. They will start eating. So for the next 3 hours where there's no water and they are eating, what will happen? They will become more thirsty. When you have accomplished that, the volume of water that they normally take in a day, like on the average in the hot, humid areas, every 1,000 commercial layer might take about 350 to 360 liters of water per day. What is 1/4 of that? 90 liters. Are you following me? So if it's not during the harmattan period, they will take good quantity of water. So 1/4 of the volume of water they take in a day is what we use for vaccination. Whether they are taking 400 liters or 4,000 liters, 1/4. What did I say? So you must know what your birds consume. It is in that 1/4 you will reconstitute your vaccine. And for Lasota, ladies and gentlemen, this is my own opinion. I'm not forcing it on you. I always prefer to give Lasota double dose. Why? From my experience, I've tested potencies of some Lasota. Some of them may not give you the expected level of potency. That's why somebody says he gives his Lasota every 2 weeks. If the potency of your Lasota is already compromised, That's why you won't get very good results. So if I use double dose, it's because I want to guide against what will make me to be repeating it under 2-3 weeks. So if I give my Lasota as a booster, after 4.5 weeks, I can give another booster till the balls are spent. So if I do it that way, I can solve a lot of problems. Have I answered your question? Then, wallowing when the temperature is hot, I've answered. You can use shower. Is Lasota advisable on day one? It's not advisable because in most cases, those birds would have come with some level of protective antibody. The best thing is get a lab. Like I know in the southeast here, you have animal care lab. They will do the screening. They will know the level of protection they have. They can advise on when you can give your first Lasota or first Gumboro and draw out a vaccination program. And I believe that will help you. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dot. Great farmers. Great farmers. I think I know that one. I did not know that one. Before we go, we will just, I know we've taken a lot of our time. So in next 10 minutes, we will serve our packed lunch for us. While that is going on, we will just, of course, from a popular demand, we just want to give the fourth presenter time to just run through his, he's not going to be making the presentation, he's just going to be running through the presentation. So I would like to welcome Dr. Dolapo Babawajide for biosecurity and flock health while the lunch is being served. Thank you very much, Dr. Dolapo.
Great farmers. No farmer. Please, let's get up. Everybody get up, get up, get up. We have been sitting since morning. Let us stretch our hands. Let us stretch our legs so that some blood can circulate while we are getting ready for the food. Good afternoon, everybody. We can have our seats. So I'm going to run very quickly through this presentation. I'm not going to bore you with so many details. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you with any major details, but we'll go through it quickly in a way that we'll be able to run through quickly. Biosecurity are measures that are designed to prevent disease from entering your farm, and eventually when the disease enters your farm, if the birds are overwhelmed, a way to minimize the impact. The major reason why biosecurity is very, very important is because our farms are commercialized with very high stocking density. So we stock large number of birds, which means the risk of disease would increase. The major risk of biosecurity is that, one, we are moving animals from one location to another. We are moving human beings, we are moving equipment, and we are moving so many things. While we are doing this, it increases the risk of disease spreading from one place to another. There are three basic levels of biosecurity: the conceptual, the procedural, and the structural. The conceptual is the moment you are thinking of, oh, I want to start a pig farm, I want to start a broiler farm, I want to start a layer farm. At that point, your biosecurity plan should start. How do I get my land? Where do I get my land? The standard for both layers, broilers, or pig farm is that you get your land as far away from the next farm as possible. You do not want to put your farm near the next farm because of the biosecurity risk. The structural level of biosecurity, the more automated your structure is, the better your biosecurity. Farming has gotten to a stage that is getting more automated. The less number of attendants entering your pen, the better your biosecurity, because less number of people are having access to your animals, which means less number of people are giving the risk of disease to your animals. So the more automated your farm is, the better your biosecurity. Now, because you are doing this, it is important that you think of a plan. You don't just say, oh, I'm doing biosecurity. Biosecurity entails a lot of things. Because of that, you need to have a plan on what and what you need to do during the day. From the gate of your farm, I have a tire dip. From the pen, I have foot dip. A lot of farms have foot dips. They don't even use it. And because of this, the risk of diseases increases. Now, there are so many places and there are so many points on your farm that increases the risk of disease. From the feed you give your animals, from waste management, from equipment, from the clothing, and then from even people that are visiting your farm. All these factors, they increase the risk of disease entering your farm. Then, while you are planning on your biosecurity, it is important that you have some standard operating procedures. How your staff are going to behave every day on your farm to ensure that they protect your flock from disease. Like I also mentioned, because you have a plan to do your biosecurity, it is important that you draft something which is a flock health plan. Okay, this is how I want to be doing my biosecurity. This is how I want to be managing my feed. This is how I want to be sanitizing my water. This is how I want to prevent disease from entering my farm. It is important that we keep this at the back of our mind for us to be able to protect our flock. So doing this, there are some basic things that are very, very important. Very, very, very important. The kind of building you want. The orientation of the building. Can anybody tell me the right orientation for a broiler, layer, or pig farm? The right orientation of your farm. Anybody? Anybody? The correct orientation of a broiler, layer, or pig farm. By standard, it is the east-west orientation. It is not only that we are guessing. This is not guesswork. The reason why we always advise farmers to do that is that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So, if your pen is properly oriented, only a small section of your pen will be hit by the sun in the morning and when the sun is setting in the evening. All these factors need to be factored in when you are making your plans. Your contingent plan is also very, very important. If suddenly you have a very, very bad disease outbreak, or there's an emergency, there's a fire outbreak, all this needs to be considered. So this is one of the most important things for both broilers, layers, and pig farmers. Farm data. The farm data can mean the success or the failure of a farm. A lot of times, the reason why you see vet doctors, especially shouting that they need proper farm record, is that a lot of times, if there's enough data on your farm, a vet doctor might not even need to visit your farm. If there's a problem, he can even easily identify from the record of your farm. Oh, this is the point where the problem started. What did you change? Even without telling the vet doctor what you changed, he can say from the record. This is the reason why it is very, very important when we are planning our biosecurity that we plan proper record of everything we do on our farm. This will guide the veterinary doctor so that he'll be able to advise you appropriately. A lot of biosecurity measures needs to be put in place. But one of the most and the major challenges, just like Doctor mentioned earlier, are rodents. Rodents can mean the success and failure of a farm. I have seen a situation where I entered a poultry farm and rats were pursuing us out of the poultry farm because they have overwhelmed the farm. And then most of those farms that have rodents, you discover that they have salmonella. The reason why that is that they carry this bacteria in their urine, in their feces. And then after you have fed your birds, they will come down from the ceiling. After eating the feed, they will urinate and defecate inside. Any farm that has heavy rat infestation, they will definitely have salmonella infection. So this is the reason why you need a very good way of managing rodents. Let me tell you that there's no way you can eliminate rats on a pig or poultry farm. You can only manage them. The way in which you manage them is also very, very important. There are different methods. One of the natural means of managing rodents are cats. Whether we like it or not, it is a very traditional way of managing rodents and it still works. So it is very, very important we do this. At the same time, if we realize that using a cat is not effective, other ways include using a bait station. What I mean by a bait station is that a typical broiler house, layer house, or a pig house has 4 corners. The idea is that you want to put feed in the four corners, so that as you are feeding your birds, you are feeding the rats. It might sound crazy, but if you feed them out of every 7 days, you give them feed for 5 days. On the 6th day, then you put your rat poison. This one, it will distract them from entering your poultry house or your pig house, because if they are already fed outside your broiler house, they will not want to enter. Another thing is that they will have gotten used to having feed outside. So the day you are putting your rat poison, it will be very, very effective. So this is a very good method and a very good strategy of managing rodents on your farm. How many of us can know the name of this particular bird I'm pointing at? This white bird. It is called cattle exactly, leke leke. You see this innocent looking bird is one of the most dangerous things that can be on your farm. The reason why I'm saying this is that it is one of the reservoir hosts for a disease like avian influenza. The issue with this animal is that it only comes to farms that are dirty, farms that do not manage their waste properly. Now, this bird is a migratory bird. Anytime they have an outbreak of avian influenza in Europe, especially during winter, because this animal is looking for places to come and nest, they always travel down from Europe down to sub-Saharan Africa. And then they carry the virus in their droppings. So if your farm is dirty, to the point that this kind of animal comes to your farm, already you are in a big problem. And they are very, very difficult to manage. So that is part of the reason why it is important that when we have waste on our farm, you either burn it or you bury it. So that if these animals, this particular bird, does not have something to eat on, it will not come to your farm. Contingent plan. While we are planning for other things, if we have enough facility, let us also think of things like insurance. I have seen a situation where a broiler farmer stocked his house and then somebody was burning cartons for the day-old chicks and fire entered the pen. So let us think of contingent plan for emergency reasons. Then for vaccination, it is part of our biosecurity protocols. Let me assure you that there's hardly any poultry disease that you have in Nigeria today that doesn't have a vaccine. It is important that we work very closely with our veterinary doctors, our animal scientists, so that they can advise us on what to do, both for poultry and for pigs. If I ask many pig farmers here, I'm sure many of us have never vaccinated our pigs. I am very, very sure. But let me assure you that there are some vaccines within the country. I am not telling you that we have swine fever vaccine. But there are some vaccines that you can use to ensure that you can reduce your neonatal mortality, that you can increase the number of piglets that you are going to win, that you can reduce respiratory disease. Those vaccines, we have it in Nigeria. Just in conclusion, as we are planning biosecurity for our farm, laboratory tests and laboratory services is very, very important. I have seen a scenario where a farmer suddenly his production crashed layer from about 80% to 40%. The man said that his enemies are after him. That because the enemies could not get him, that is the reason why they are attacking his birds. This particular farmer is somebody who is very close to me. In fact, we attend the same church. So I went to the farm to investigate what was going on. Because at a particular point, he invited his pastor to come and anoint his farm. The pastor was anointing the birds because he thought that the enemies, because they could not get him, that's why they are attacking his birds. Because he was not doing the right thing. I just told him, sir, can we collect samples of your feed? Collect samples of your water after doing postmortem. We took samples to the lab. The man had aflatoxicosis. He used wet maize for his feed. And then the production dropped. The correction was made, and then production jumped up. And then the farmer still went back to the church to do Thanksgiving. Some things are just common sense. If you use wet maize, you will have problems on your farm. So a lot of those things, we take it for granted. Even when we are using commercial feed, let us regularly make steps to check the quality of what they are selling to us. This can help us a lot. Another important one is our water quality. Whatever land you are getting to start your farm, check the level of ions in the water and the coliform count. If the bacterial load in your water is very high, you need to be constantly using water sanitizer. If you don't use it, you might lose your flock to that. On the last note, financing is very, very important. As you are planning to start a farm, think of your personal funds first, funds from family and friends, or cooperatives before you now think of bank loans. I always advise farmers, start small, then you can grow big. This reduces the risk of losing your flock in case any disease happens. That is basically what I want to discuss today. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask me now. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dolapo. Great farmers. Yes, we will be running off now. We, Big Dutchman and Choice Genetics, we are not leaving Enugu today. So we are still around for questions. If you have one-on-one questions that you want to ask us, maybe for the pigs or for the poultry farmers, you can walk up to any of us and we will gladly answer your questions. So I would like to welcome the Poultry Association of Nigeria chairman for Enugu chapter for the closing remarks in person of Mr. Olisa Onu. For the closing remarks, a round of applause for him, please. A round of applause for him once again as he walks up to the podium.
Great farmers, no farmer, just small comment. I'm not the state chairman. He's down there, but he's very busy. So I'm standing on his behalf. My name is Chidi. I'm the state secretary. So once again, I want to thank Big Dutchman for their presentation today. What we continue to do as an association is to find that link between companies with information to continue to enlighten our farmers, to bring us close to up to date of events that is happening in our industry. And that's exactly what Big Dutchman have done today for us. I will encourage us to continue to engage them after this session to get to know about their products and what they have to offer. As an association, we'll continue to partner with them and believe that maybe in the future, we'll have our products that can be easily accessible by everybody here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, a round of applause for every one of us that are present here. I just want to correct a notion also. Big Dutchman as a company, we are not just targeting the big players or anything. Big Dutchman can serve big farmers or poultry farmers that are even small scale in quote. Even if you have maybe 5 birds, $5 birds, or maybe even 10 layers, or maybe even 3 pigs, we have equipment that you can use. So Big Dutchman is not only for the big people. Big Dutchman is for every class of farmer, and we will really appreciate it. I know people that are patronizing us here, and we appreciate it if you can also even patronize us more. We are very grateful for you coming for this program, and we hope and believe that all information that has been disseminated to every one of us is going to be beneficial to us. And there is not just it won't just be good if we get all this and we don't put them into use. So kindly let us have it at the back of our mind that all this information, it will be better for us to put them to use and not just dump them in our knowledge bank. We should put them to use on our farms, on our day-to-day activities, and we will definitely see improvements. So once again, we thank you for coming. All the presentations, like I said earlier, they are going to be sent to our email addresses, which I believe we all wrote very well. I know my own writing is not very good. So I always want to make sure that whatever I write, I tell the person, yes, this is what I wrote. So I believe all our email addresses, they were correctly written down so that we can get across to us with the presentations. Thank you very much once again. And I would like to call someone to come and do the closing prayer. I want to call on any of our mothers, because it was Pastor Gabriel that did the opening prayer. I want to call any of our mothers. If you don't come, I would, because I don't want to give you 1,000 naira now. I will come and meet you myself with the mic. Go. Any volunteer to do the closing prayer for us? Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am.
In Jesus' name, in the mighty name of Jesus, Heavenly Father, we thank you. We worship you. We give you honor, adoration in the name of Jesus. We thank you for making us to be here this moment. Father, as we are going, we shall go in peace in the name of Jesus. We thank you for bringing this program successfully because it's not easy. We thank you for this company that you brought here to lead us through. Father, we thank you. As they are going back, they shall go in peace in the name of Jesus. And as we are going, we shall go in peace in the name of Jesus. Daddy, bless our handwork. Bless our struggling. We shall, Daddy, perfect it in the mighty name of Jesus. In Jesus' mighty name I prayed.
Thank you very much. My round of applause for her, please. Please, before we go, we would like every one of us to come here for a group picture so that we can take pictures together before we go. And again, we are still here for interactions, one-on-ones with any of the facilitators. If you want a clarification, you can always reach out to any of us.